He's got some wheels. They're going. And he got it.
The Kane County Cougars host the Quad City River Bandits here on Sports Channel.
From Millar Stadium in Geneva, Illinois, it's the Kane County Cougars, the Class A affiliate of the Florida Marlins, hosting the Quad City River Bandits, an affiliate of the Houston Astros. Hello again, everybody. I'm Dave Wills, and I'm joined by former White Sox third baseman Bill Melton. And Bill, we've seen these two ball clubs several times, and I think what we got to expect out of today's ball game will be probably a low-scoring affair, especially with the wind blowing in the way it is.
Well, Dave, we've always seen good pitching and good defense in all these games in the Midwest League, but I think today especially is going to be low. I think Will Canine with the Cougars has really got his stack together. He's got, what, 3-0 in the last 3 starts and really throwing well. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Good pitching matchup as well, because they have a left-hander going for the Quad City River Bandits, Jamie Walker. Now, Walker coming into the ball game with a record of 5-5. And Bill, when a left-hander goes on the mound for the opposition, it alters the Cougars lineup just a bit.
You're right, Dave. It takes away one of the better hitters with the fastest bat or the quickest bat through the strike zone that I've seen. It's really major league quickness, and that's Willie Brown. But it will affect the ball club. But Billy McMillan, the left fielder, is one of the most impressive left-handed hitters I've seen against left-handed pitching. So I think Billy's going to be a big factor today.
You mentioned about youngster Will Canane going for the Cougars. He has been in the starting rotation for 3 starts. He is 3-0, and he's had some tremendous starts. His first 16 batters he retired in a row. In his first start, brought a no-hitter to the 9th, and his second. And then you've seen his last start, 7 innings, picked up the win against Clinton.
Well, what's really impressive about Will is the fact he's got 52 innings pitched and only 7 walks. That's pretty rare at this level of baseball. But also, he's almost got a strike an inning.
He has thrown the ball very, very well. Well, folks, if you've never seen Kane County Cougars baseball before, stick around, because you're not only going to see baseball here tonight, you're going to see several activities that go on in between innings as well. It promises to be a very entertaining evening. The Cougars and the River Bandits coming up next on Sports Channel. Kane County Cougars baseball is brought to you by Millar Genuine Draft. Get out of the old and into the cold. By the Torco Auto Group, the sign of satisfaction. Yes, you can. By Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers. By Mr. Goodwrench and GM Parts. Mr. Goodwrench, putting service back into the service department. By MC Sports, you win every time. 13 Chicagoland locations to serve you. And by the Chicago Tribune. Welcome back here to Phil Alstrom Stadium. Along with Bill Melton, I'm Dave Wills. And as always, a festive atmosphere here at Phil Alstrom Stadium as the Cougars and the Quad City River Bandits are getting ready to go. The Cougars in their old-time uniforms with the ball toss, the Rogers Flooring ball toss prior to the game. And also the Cougars giving some of the youngsters and the females in the crowd here tonight some flowers. And then, as we have seen so many times here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, folks are just clamoring to get their hands on some of the giveaways, and as usual, folks are just trying to find any way to get into the ballpark. And some of the skydivers here, and see the little Cougar pennant behind him, and came very, very close to that target. And just a rather festive atmosphere here. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the River Bandits. It'll be Kerry Bridges leading it off at second base, Richard Hidalgo in center, Tim Fortner at third, R.J. Bowers in right, Mike Rennick in left. The DH is Noel Rodriguez. Jamie Sailors at short. Eddie Ramos at first. And the catcher is Alan Probst. The numbers on the starting pitcher for the Cougars: Will Canane, 4 starts, 4-1 with a very fine 1.56 earned run average. And he does have a complete game, 52 innings pitched, 37 hits, and he struck out 46. We'll get to the defense in a moment. Here's the first pitch, and it's to Kerry Bridges. Low ball, 1-0.
And defensively for the Cougars, Dave, today is Dave Berg at third, Scott Southard at short, Ralph Milliard at second base, Kevin Millar at first. In left field, Billy McMillan. In center field, Ron Brown. And in right field, Glenn Reeves. And behind the plate, Mike Redmond.
Will Kane ready to go with the 2-0 to Bridges. That one in there for a strike, and the count 2-1. The numbers on Bridges: 283, no homers, 31 runs batted in. Wide open stance for the left-handed hitting second baseman. Chops one over to first. Millar gloves it. He'll step on the bag, and there's one gone. Well, nice shot of those old-time uniforms for the Kane County Cougars, and we got the men in blue for today. They're in the 1994 garb. Mike Fisher is behind home plate, and Jason Gibbon is out on the bases. And a beautiful day. The clouds have begun to clear away. 78 degrees, a slight wind out of the southwest, and sunny and hazy. As we mentioned, the clouds giving way to a very nice night, as there's a strike called to Richard Hidalgo, a 283 hitter, 6 homers, 45 runs batted in, and he has a gun for an arm. Canane with the 0-1. This one bounced to short. Southern scoops it up. Across the diamond he goes. 2 up, 2 down.
Dave, a line on Will Canane in the last 5 games. He's 3-0 with a .96 ERA, 14 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 base on ball, and 27 strikeouts in the last 28 innings. That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. For a 20-year-old is Tim Fortner. Stepping in, .315 average, 3 homers, 35 runs batted in.
Prior to the game, I was watching a little bit of the outfield drills with the River Bandits, and you're right about Richard Hidalgo. He's got a major league arm. There's no question about it. The ball not only carries a lot, but he's pretty accurate with it too.
I believe when we saw these guys back in April, only less than a month into the season, he already had 7 assists in the outfield. I'm sure those numbers have climbed, as here's a drive into the gap in the right center field. A long way to run for both Ron Brown and Glenn Reeves, as here's Fortner on his way to second. He's going to try for third. The relay will not be in time, and now it hits Fortner and will go into the dugout, and he will come in and score. Well, right there, that relay would have been better off just being run in. No chance to get him, and Dave Berg had no chance to get that throw as it bounded off of the base runner. You'll see it right here.
Well, he just goes down and gets his ball and just drives that into right center field. And I think you're right, Dave. Both Reeves and Brown go after the ball.
You can see the...
Well, we didn't get a chance right there to see the throw, but you're right. Sometimes a bad relay throw is best to be left when the guy pretty much has the triple.
So it'll go down as a triple and then an error, as there's a swing and a miss by R.J. Bowers. And Bowers 0-2. He'll see the final throw there. It looks like Millar got a lot on the throw, but boom, boink.
Well, that is a good throw. It's just a tough situation right there. It hit the runner, and that's something that, you know, it does happen more often than not, but it was a pretty good relay throw.
Well, that was a pretty good pitch by Will Canane right there. He throws R.J. Bowers, and that will retire the side. The Bandits come up with a run on a hit, and there was an error. Nobody left. We're through half an inning. It's Quad City 1, Cougars coming up. Dave Berg will play the hot corner and bat second. Ralph Milliard at second. Billy McMillan left. The DH Brendan Kingman. Kevin Millar at first. In center field is Ron Brown. The catcher Mike Redmond. And at short is Scott Southern. Left-handed pitcher for the Quad City River Bandits, Jamie Walker, 5-5 in 8 starts with a .488 earned run average. Does not have a complete game. 59 innings pitched. He has given up 61 hits and 27 walks, so almost a runner and a half per inning, and it struck out 48.
And defensively for the River Bandits today, Dave, on the corners is Tim Fortner at third, Eddie Ramos at first base. Up the middle, Jamie Saylor at short, Gary Bridges at second base. In left field, Mike Renhack. In center field, Richard Hidalgo. In right field, Ray Bowers. And behind the plate, Alan Post.
And they have been prone to make a few mistakes, but you cannot run on that outfield. And Lynn Jones found that out a couple of times on Thursday night, and so did this man on Thursday night. Thrown out to the plate twice in that ball game. Reeves, a .281 hitter with 3 homers, 24 runs batted in. Jamie Walker ready to go. Here's the pitch on its way, and it's in there for a strike. 0-1.
You're right. Glenn Reeves last Thursday night, Dave, got thrown out twice going to third base, and twice coming into home. But the way baseball goes, he drove in the winning run too in the bottom of the 9th inning, so it always balances out.
The 0-1 almost hit him, had to get out of the way, and the count evening up at 1-1. A plethora of left-handers for this Quad City River Bandit team. It seems like that's all we see when we take on these River Bandits, a Class A affiliate of the Houston Astros. That pitch caught the outside corner. Good spot, 1-2.
Well, as you know, left-handers are a luxury in baseball, especially at the major league level. They tend to have long careers because everybody's in need either of a short man or especially a starter, but middle relief and short and closers. And I tell you, it's a premium. So, for Houston to have a couple of guys at this A level.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to count to Glenn Reeves, leading off the Cougar first.
And the other night when Billy Wagner, the other left-hander, threw, he's a little over 90 miles an hour on each pitch. Pretty good arm. Looks like he's got a pretty good future. Jamie Walker's the first time I've seen him throw, but right now he looks just about average. But, he gives up a lot of walks, and I think that could get him in a lot of trouble.
Reeves fouled that last pitch off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A beautiful night for baseball here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, and Walker didn't like the baseball that home plate umpire Mike Fitcher gave to him, so he asks for a new one, and we'll get it. So Reeves stepping in, 2-2. The count to him, leading off the bottom of the first inning. Infield back all the way around, the outfield straight away. Here's the pitch. That missed inside, and the count now full at 3-2. Reeves has been a catalyst for the Cougars offensively. It seems when he has a good game, the Cougars have a good game, and he's been swinging the bat very well over the past month. The 3-2 to Reeves is chopped to short. Saylor has it. He'll go over to first, and there's one gone on the 6-3 put up.
Well, the Cougars as a whole, as a team, Dave, really don't steal a lot of bases. I don't think anybody's in double figures. They basically win in their games and getting their runs by, extra base hits and just getting on base. But I like to see them run maybe a little bit more. I don't know the speed of all the players, but a guy like Glenn Reeves, I think, runs pretty well.
They kind of run like you, Bill.
Station to station. I used to just practice circling the bases.
Check swing by Dave Berg is strike 1.
I always told myself when I retired, David, I was kind of glad I wasn't one of those guys that stole a lot of bases or laid down bunts. Usually those guys are pretty tired after a game and, have short careers. So I just kind of told myself to have a lengthy major league career, I just forget stealing bases, leave it up to some other guys.
The 0-1 to Berg, and that off-speed pitch missed outside. And the count 1-1.
I did know my limitations.
Well, that's a start.
I think somebody said I had 23 steals in the major leagues. I can't remember one of them.
1-1 pitch. Might have been on the back end of double steals.
No, actually, no, I'd remember those. I think a lot of them were delayed steals where I caught that shortstop, second baseman falling asleep, head down, looking out to the outfield, and I just take off. Element of surprise.
2 balls and a strike to count to Berg. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the first. Now the pitch, this one right back through the middle, but Saylor is right there to make the grab. And quickly, there's 2 gone, so Saylor's made a couple of nice plays to start.
Well, Dave just kind of jams himself here. It's not really a good line drive. You'll see he hits it on the inside part of the bat, and it was just kind of a change-up line drive with a shortstop. I think if he'd have got the head of the bat on that, he'd have probably hit a line drive between the outfielders.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Ralph Millar. And he fouls this one off. Strike 1. Millar's numbers so far this year. A .299 hitter with 4 homers, 36 runs batted in. Some of the Sports Channel viewers just saw him a couple of weeks ago in the Midwest League All-Star game. 1 of 4 Cougars to play in the Midwest League Classic as that pitch fouled off, and the count now quickly 0-2.
Well, manager Lynn Jones speaks very highly of Ralph Millar. He's got what he considers major league hands, major league defensive play, and when you hear the word soft hands, that's a pretty good recommendation for a second baseman. But they were a little concerned about his hitting, and I think it hit him at .299. Not only had a pretty good first half, but he's off to a pretty good second.
0-2 the count. Walker trying to work on a 1-2-3 first and just missed with that one. And the count will go to 1-2.
He just did miss with that. That's a good pitch from a left-hander. Here's a pretty good pitch right here. Little movement down and in. It's almost something you don't want to take, Dave, with 2 strikes. That's a pretty good pitch right there by Jamie Walker.
The 1-2. That missed low and inside, and the count now 2-2. 3:35 down each line here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. It's 3:75 to the power alleys and then 400 feet to straightaway center. As the 2-2 to Millar on its way, and he swung and missed, and that will do it for the Cougars here in the first. 3 up, 3 down for the Cougars, and we're through 1.
There's a pretty good pitch right here by Jamie Walker. He has good arm action. It's just a change up and got Millar way off balance, and that's primarily what a pitcher's goal is to do, and he did a good job.
Here's the shot right there, and no doubt about it. You can see right there, Bill, he was about a good foot and a half in front of that one. Tape this for, I don't know what, stick it in my scrapbook, if you will, is that first pitch to the leadoff hitter, Mike Rennick. Is low and inside, ball 1. Rennick's numbers, 220 with 5 homers, 31 runs batted in, batting from the left side. Kane with the 1-0, and that one missed, and now the count quickly to 2-0.
Well, this is my first opportunity to see Will Kane throw, and looks like he's got pretty good movement on that fastball, Dave. I guess his fastball's 85, 88 miles an hour, but good movement.
2-0 pitch missed, and now the count quickly to 3 balls and no strikes. Third baseman Berg is step in front of the bag over there. The rest of the infield back, and the outfield swung around a little bit toward left as the 3-0 from Kane is right there for a strike. 3-1. A good look at that old-timer uniform. Very, very sharp looking. And I'm telling you, put those things on sale, a few people will buy them. That pitch missed low, ball 4. He walked it. They were designed, those uniforms were designed by the LaRocco group. A good buddy of mine, Joe LaRocco, put those together, and I'll tell you, they looked great on paper. They look even better in person.
Yeah, Joe really did a good job with that. I really like the colors. It's kind of a lime green on the stockings with about 7 or 8 stripes. They really look great. Did a great job on that. And you know, and today baseball is marketing, you know, and you got to try different things, let people see different things. And I think this turn back the clock day is great.
First pitch to Noel Rodriguez outside. Rodriguez, 268 hitter with a homer, 5 runs batted in, and it's very uncharacteristic of Will Kane. He usually does not fall behind the hitters like he has been doing so far here today. The 1-0, and here's a double play ball. Millar to Southern at second, over to first. No doubt about it. 4-6-3, and there's 2 gone. They don't get any easier than this.
Well, watch Ralph Millar right here. He just goes down on one knee. This is what a good second baseman does. He feels it cleanly on the second hop. A good throw to the shortstop right there to Southern, and just a good throw to first base. Good double play all the way around.
There's a shot of Ralph Millar. The best turner of a double play that I have seen in my 4 years of Midwest League baseball. Here's a one-hopper to first. Jamie Saylor retired, 3 unassisted, and that's going to do it for the River Bandits. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We've played an inning and a half. It's Quad City 1, the Cougars nothing, and we are sticking around again. Have the bat boy bring out a couple of gloves for him.
It's a good thing we're doing this in the bottom of the
He is not happy.
Well, it's a good thing we're doing this in the bottom of the second inning, because if he was like 0 for 3 with a couple of punch outs, I don't know if he'd be
somebody might have been
willing
out, yes.
Yeah, so willing to get involved in this thing. But I think that's great when you see somebody that, a young kid like that, you know, and just having fun with the game. The fans like it, and the more theatric you are, the better it is.
Billy McMillan to lead things off. 254 hitter, leads the Cougars in homers with 10 and RBIs with 56, and a swing and a foul out of play, left side, strike 1.
Well, we talked about it on the pregame, Dave. I think Billy McMillan looks as good as any left-hander against a left-handed pitcher that I've seen, and that includes a lot of major league ball players. A lot of them. And the reason is because you don't see a lot of left-handers, but Billy at this level of ball is pretty impressive as far as keeping his right shoulder down and staying in against a left-hander.
Up that one to the right side, so now he's quickly in the hole. 0-2. I don't think they had shin guards back in the olden days, but McMillan going with one after fouling a number of balls off of that right instep. As there's a good bender, just missed outside. 1-2.
Well, I guess if Billy would face somebody like Randy Johnson with the Seattle Mariners, we might really see how long he can hang in. But
slaps that one, foul territory, left side. Fortner giving chase, but he'll run out of room. Goes into the well-populated lawn area down the left field line.
Well, that's the first time I've seen Billy actually kind of feel for a ball, so I think he was really fooled on the type of pitch. So we have to give Jamie Walker a little bit of credit right there on that breaking ball. It was not only a breaking ball, but he took a lot off of it, and that's why Billy got caught off balance. I think he's laughing at it himself. He's trying to think, well, what was that?
Saw that graphic. All-time Clemson University batting leader at a .382 career average. Now the 1-2. Breaking ball. This one driven in the right field. Going back is Bowers, but it will not get out of this yard as he'll make the catch shy of the warning track, and there's one gone. So one out.
Here's that swing by Billy McMillan. Now watch how he keeps that right shoulder. Watch how he keeps that right shoulder down and right there. See that? A breaking ball. The same one he felt for last time. This time he's back and his hands are back, and that's pretty impressive right there, Dave. He just missed it.
He just missed it as right as there's a base hit in the right field by Brendan Kingman. Kingman aboard, a .243 hitter with no homers, 17 runs batted in. He goes the other way and notches the first hit of the ball game for the Cougars. Now you could see on that last shot from our third base camera that he just did not get the ball in the hitting zone.
Exactly.
It was just a little bit behind.
But Kingman did the right thing. Usually against a left-hander, what a right-hander wants to do is he wants to take that ball to right center field or to the right side. Any kind of off-speed pitch, and I think Brendan Kingman right there went with the pitch very well. And you know, let's see how the game goes on and whether see it or not, if we have to have our right-handers go that way.
Kevin Millar, the batter. Now here's a pitch, and it's missing for a ball. 1-0. Millar, a .293 hitter with 8 homers, 53 runs batted in. Some of the folks still making their way into Phil Alstrom Stadium here tonight. A great crowd on hand. The last time we had a ball game on Sports Channel, we had over 8,000. I would expect more of the same here tonight. Ooh, good change. He swung and missed, and the count 1-1. He likes the high one, but didn't get this one.
Well, it's a good sequence right here by Jamie Walker. He was, you know, he got behind 1-0, and then his next pitch he took a little off the fastball, and right there you can see where Kevin Millar was a little bit out front. The whole idea of hitting is, or pitching, is to get, you know, the hitter off balance, and that's what he's trying to do.
1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom half of the second inning. Walker holding for a while, and I think time will be called sooner or later, and now he'll just step off.
Well, right there I think the hitter's got to step out of the box, because the idea of the pitcher holding the ball is to change the concentration of the hitter. So I'd like to see Kevin step out of that box anytime a pitcher holds the ball that long.
See Kingman leading at first, not much of a threat to run. And here's the pitch, another swing and a miss. And it's now 1-2 to Millar.
Well, it looks like Walker's come with a lot of off-speed pitches. I think his game plan is to get the hitters off balance. So I think what the Cougars are going to have to do today, Dave, and we've seen it against left-handers before, guys with change-ups and off-speed stuff, is to go the other way.
So Millar in the hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield at double play depth is. See Walker coming set. Jammed him there, but just barely got a piece of it and fouled it off. I tell you, the more I look at those uniforms,
I really like those.
Dave Taylor in our truck saying the same thing. Boy, oh boy, those things are very sharp.
You know, it's the colors too. I think
Yeah,
the color
they did a tremendous job.
The lettering is.
You know, and usually I get a comp with this, and you know,
Well,
I didn't get one yet.
Well, I'm sure we're both going to get.
I'm gonna have to talk to Joe LaRocco about this one.
We're both are going to get a jersey on.
I hope so. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one could be 2. Bounce to third. Faulkner over to second, and not in time over to first. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. A little electricity right there by the second baseman, Kerry Bridges. He was in the area code, I guess is what they're going to call, as you can see on the replay right here.
Well, Faulkner right here makes a good throw to second base. I think Kerry Bridges cheated just a little bit too much here and got away with it, which is all right, and kind of fumbled with the ball a little bit in his glove, and you're not going to get a guy like Kevin Millar out.
Here's a better shot at that. And see Reeves playing hard-nosed baseball, going in hard at second base to make sure that that double play would not be turned. So a fielder's choice. It goes 5-4. Runner at first with 2 gone, and the first pitch to Ron Brown. Outside corner, a strike.
Well, he did a good job of breaking up the play, but also Kerry Bridges, I want to give him credit for the way, you know, you need to cheat a little bit over there, Dave. You don't you know, you don't have to stand right on top of that bag. I mean, he cheated pretty good. And, you know, in the minor leagues, when you only have 2 umpires, they've got a lot of things to watch, and you can get away with a lot more here.
Throw over to first, and Millar do-si-does back in.
Walker doesn't have a real good move to first base, so I think what maybe the Cougars might do, and I know they're not a running ball club, but I don't know the arm of Alan Prost very well, but, you know, with that type of pickoff move and stuff, I think they can take advantage and steal some bases.
Now the 0-1. Hard hit toward the hole. Shortstop Saylor gets it, and he'll eat it. So Brown gets an infield single. Saylor showing he can cover some ground, but once he got to it, couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, you can't do anything with a ball like this. This is more or less like a slow hit 3 or 4 hopper way to his right, and there's not much he could do even if it planted. I don't think, you know, when he's going backwards like that, there's no way he can get him out. And even if he planted, I don't think he'd have got him.
So runners at first and second, and the Cougars catcher Mike Redmond coming up. Redmond, a .282 hitter with a homer, 17 runs batted in. He's become the full-time catcher for the Cougars in 1994. He's the only returnee from the 1993 squad. It's kind of sat behind Charles Johnson, who was all everything last year. And
well, he was the Marlins' #1 pick. You're right, and I think Mike Redmond learned a lot sitting back there, and he certainly has taken advantage of his opportunity to play this year. And he's, you know, hitting .282. 1 home run, 17 RBIs, but he's really done a good job defensively back there. I was pretty impressed the games I've seen him as far as throwing out base runners. He's got a quick release. He's got a good arm.
1 ball and no strikes. You see Millar at second base walking up his lead over there. Walker working from the stretch. Now the pitch. Bouncing ball to short. Should be easy for Saylor. He'll go to second for the force, and that'll do it. Fielder's choice. 6-4 ends the Cougars' second inning. No runs, a couple of hits, there were no errors, and 2 men left. We play 2. It's 1-0 Quad City. Go back here to Phil Alstrom Stadium. Dave Wills along with Bill Melton as we go to the top of the third. Quad City leading the Cougars by a score of 1-0. Getting ready to lead things off for the Bandits here in the third will be their number 8 hitter, Eddie Ramos. He'll be followed by Alan Probst and Kerry Bridges. First pitch is swung on and bounced to short. Southern again to swallow it up. Throws over the first. 1 pitch. 1 out.
Here's that last ground out right here that the Cougars hit into. And Jamie Walker, what his game plan is to really throw a lot of off-speed stuff, Dave, and to get those guys to beat it in the ground. You're either going to be off stride or off balance, and or you're going to hit it into the ground. That creates a lot of double plays. So I think the Cougars really need to go up the middle and or to right field.
Well, usually, and you have seen it in the past, the Cougars usually go up to the plate with some sort of a plan, especially against a pitcher like that, as the first pitch to Alan Probst outside.
You're right.
And you can see we usually start to get the fly balls to the right side or the ground outs to the right side. Cougars have not done that yet here this afternoon. They're going to have to make an adjustment. Baseball's a game of adjustments. There's no doubt about it.
You're right. And your coaching staff in there, and of course manager Lynn Jones is going to remind them that, you know, guys, I think we're going to have to start going up the middle or to right field.
2-0 pitch to Probst is pulled foul down the first base, or third base line rather. And the count now 2-1. A good look at catcher Alan Probst. They got some big boys behind the dish for the Quad City River Bandits. He makes for a pretty big backstop back there. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Kane. Good off speed. Got him on the outside corner. 2-2.
Yeah, that was a good off-speed pitch. Had a good break to it and caught the outside part of the corner. So that's a nice pitch.
A little toasty for Will Kinane. You can see the perspiration on the bill of that cap. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball got away from him, and the count now going full at 3-2. Well, Phil Alstrom Stadium, the playing surface looking as good as it always does. You're not going to find a better minor league playing surface than the one right here. So here's a swing and a high fly ball. Left center field, coming over Ron Brown, makes the grab, and there's 2 gone. Our next Kane County Cougars game on SportsChannel will be Sunday, July the 24th at 3 p.m. when the Cougars host the Beloit Brewers. right here on Sports Channel. Folks from across the border coming down here to Phil Alstrom Stadium. 2 outs in the batter Kerry Bridges.
Well, both the hitters on the Cougars and the River Bandits, they're taking good swings, and they look like they're hitting the ball hard, but they're really off balance. So I think both pitchers are pretty effective with their off-speed stuff right there. That ball looked like he hit it pretty well with his swing, but it actually didn't really go anywhere.
1 ball, no strikes. Bridges takes that one low, and the count 2-0.
It's pretty rare for a pitcher like Will Kane to get a number 4, isn't it? Is that one of his Joe DiMaggio, or who wore number 4? Who would be his hero?
Don Zimmer. Here's a bouncing ball to the right side. Millar has it. He'll go over to first, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down here in the third. We're through 2.5. Quad City leads the Cougars by a score of 1-0. And get a good look at the Cougar dugout right there. Sharp looking uniforms.
I think the guys are really enjoying those. I really think they like those uniforms.
And this will be a Sunday staple.
Where's Ozzy's?
Well, he's got his on right there. Then.
Well, where's his new uniform?
Shorts. I don't know if he's got a new top yet.
Well, if the Bird's got one, Billy the Bird here has one, and I think Ozzy ought to raise a little stink.
Well, Billy's a guest. Here's the first Chicago mascot dash. The youngster on his way to second. He's going to try and beat Ozzy and Billy Bird in this race. And Ozzy's had a tough time trying to win. And there goes Ozzy. Uh-oh, he's got a pretty good lead. As the youngster now being held back by Billy Bird. Oh, he's getting a little help here. So Ozzy going to get there, and oh my goodness, Ozzy won.
Ozzy hasn't won in 2.5 years.
And the crowd not happy at all. And the youngster kicking the dirt and everything. And Ozzy and Billy Bird, and this youngster is not happy. He's got Bugs Bunny on his hat and everything. And he is not happy at all.
He might not be able to sleep tonight.
Oh, and the Cougar dugout not happy either.
For running at the end of that race.
They're throwing balls and bats and everything. I think Ozzy and Billy Bird are going to run into a little trouble for trying to win this. And now Ozzy just got decked by Gavin Ball. Ozzy's having a tough day. A very tough day. And now he's asking for forgiveness from the young fan. And I think... Oh boy, some sore losers here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. Well, that's what happens when you cheat.
Well, that's the first time Ozzy has ever won, is it not?
It might be one of his first or second.
What if the Bird talked him into it? Billy Bird here.
Might have been the case, but I bet that youngster is still going to get some sort of an award for performing in the first Chicago mascot dash. Scott Southard to lead things off here in the bottom half of the third. Southard hitting .227 as he takes ball 1 with, ooh, that hurts. Ozzy's going to be talking a few octaves higher, I think, for the next few moments. Quite a kick. Pitch missed inside, and the count now 2-0. For you youngsters out there, don't try that at home. See the numbers on Southard. Missed about the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season with a bad arm, and he's been pretty much the everyday shortstop since. That pitch right there, and the count 2-1. Home plate umpire Mike Fisher is a Lansing, Illinois native. Get a good look at him right there. Talking with him after the ball game yesterday. Went to TF South High School. And I'm sure the folks down there have got be watching the ball game and the tapes rolling as that pitch bunted and fouled off.
Well, I think what Scott thought, Sutter thought, was that he thought he had Tim Faulkner kind of laying back, but actually Faulkner is pretty even with the bag, so I don't think he's fooling him with the bunt.
2 balls and 2 strikes now. Infield moving back all the way around with those 2 strikes against Southern. Here's the pitch. Look out. Look out. That ball getting into the crowd in a hurry.
And Ray Bowers, the right fielder for the Bandits, is playing really shallow. Mike Rennick is in. So they're playing Scott Southern pretty shallow here.
Got a shot of the outfield, how close they are. Here's the pitch, and now he drives this one in the left field, a base hit. Fought it off and lifted over the infield and in front of the left fielder Mike Rennick for the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Cougars. Rod Allen sure filling out that old-timer uniform, Cougars first base coach. So Southern aboard with his first hit, the third of the night for the Cougars, and now the second time through as Glenn Reeves gets ready to come back up. Reeves bounced as short his first time, 0 for 1.
Well, each one of the hitters has now seen him one time. Jamie Walker's pitches, and I think they've talked amongst themselves. And maybe right now they're trying to, I know Southern right there jammed himself a little bit, Dave, so they might be trying to go up the middle to right field. I think the second time around, you're really going to have to sit back on him.
So Reeves stepping in, infield at double play depth with the third baseman Faulkner right at the edge of the grass. Here's a breaking ball, low, ball 1.
And he really hasn't got a lot of his breaking balls over for strikes. So I think what the hitters have to do, it looks like they're laying off the breaking ball. But I think where he's fooling them is he's coming instead with a good fastball. He's just kind of pulling the strings a little bit, and that's getting them off balance.
Now the 1-0. Little slapper back toward the middle. Over to go get it, Bridges. He bobbles, throws to first, and gets it. A bang-bang play over there at first as Jason Gibbon called Reeves out. Going over to second on the play is Southern, so it's somewhat of a swinging bunt. We'll see it right here.
Yeah, it's almost like a hit and run was put on, and there it is. His body's flying out, and he just reaches for the ball.
I don't think that would have been a double play, but I think Bridges would have liked to have.
Yeah, I think Southern was there a little quick. To me, it looked a little more like a hit and run than anything, and it's. I think what Lynn Jones is trying to do is he's forcing his hitters to stay in. A lot of times when you put on hit and runs, it forces the hitter to stay in and to go with the ball. So something like that can get the lineup changed around pretty fast.
So 1 out for Dave Berg. And Berg puts down a little bunt to the right side. Tough play for Bridges. He'll have no play. As taking the turn at third is Southern, but he'll stay right there, and that'll be an infield hit. Good idea by Dave Berg. He knew that with a left-handed pitcher, that pitcher's falling up toward the third baseline. If he can push it, by the mound, he's going to get a base hit.
Yeah, it's a great idea, and you're right. A left-handed pitcher, what he's doing, he's just pushing that ball right between the pitcher and first baseman. Second baseman, 9 times out of 10 can't make that play, but most importantly, he advanced Scott Sutter to third base. He's on first base with a base hit, so you've got 1 out and a run in scoring position. So the thing to do right now for Ralph Millar is just to stay out of a double play. We might see a lot of off-speed pitches right here in this sequence.
Millar struck out his first time as he steps in for the second time against Jamie Walker. Now the pitch. Swung on, little tapper back to the mound. This will not score the run. Now they got Southern caught. They're going to try and get Berg over to third and Millar to second. Southern staying in long enough. Well, he made a good thing out of something bad, and they are going to call. Who are they calling out? Now they call both of them out. He tagged out Dave Berg, and because that base belonged to Scott Southern, Southern thought he was the guy that was out. Started the walk-off. They tagged him too. What a wacky play, and we'll see it again. Boy, oh boy. Here you can see Southern back to the bag, and he'll tag both, and that's what the catcher should do just to be on the safe side. Well,
that's a strange double play, but it works.
Home plate umpire, you can see Mike Fisher pointing to Berg, saying, yes, you are out. And here's how it all started. Now, here's what Southern does, and you know, stay in the rundown long enough to get the runners over.
Well, actually, Jamie Walker, I don't know what his thoughts were going to home. He had a perfect ball to turn a double play, so actually he made the wrong play and came out smelling like a rose with a double header. I mean, a double play anyway. He should have gone to second base and got the double play.
So there you have it, a double play to end the Cougars' third. We play 3. It's 1-0 Bandits. As we get ready to start the top of the fourth, it'll go down as a fielder's choice and a double play, 1-5-2 to end the Cougars' third as we get ready to start the fourth. And leading off will be Richard Hidalgo. Hidalgo bounced to short his first time, and he gets a good hack at this one, lifts it in the right center field. It'll drop in. Brown over to go get it, bobbles it. Here's Hidalgo trying for second. He'll get there. Well, Ron Brown bobbled it and then did not necessarily go after it very fast, and Hidalgo, being an aggressive base runner, got in.
Well, good job of base running right here by Hidalgo, and you're right. Brown leisurely goes down to get the ball, and once you bobble it, a good base runner, which Hidalgo took advantage of that. There's nothing you can do. He didn't even stop around first base and just kept going. So in his mind, little hesitation there, but not much. In his mind, he was going for 2. That's good baseball.
One of the guys that you see do that a lot for the Chicago White Sox
Lance Johnson
is Lance Johnson, and also for the Cubs, Sean Dunston does that a lot too. He rounds that bag hard at first, and he's ready for the outfield to make any kind of mistake, and right there it happened.
Well, they do make a lot of mistakes at the major league level too, and all base runners all through the minor league system from A, AA to AAA, Dave, and even the big leagues, outfielders are told that you've really got to keep an eye on the guy when he makes that turn at first base. And you know, you got to come up throwing. You got to make the play in the outfield like he's already going for 2. And if you do that, generally, you won't be caught.
0-1 the count to Tim Forkner. Runner at second, corners up. He swings and doesn't get that one, and the count now quickly 0-2. Well, it looks like the cue. Our official scorer extraordinaire is calling that one a double, but I think
a double?
That if he had the facilities that we did, as we just saw, that I think he might have to change that to a single E8.
Yeah, I think he would, but you're right. He doesn't have the same luxury we have of watching a replay. I think what he did is took into consideration the speed of Hidalgo, I'm sorry, and the fact that he didn't really stop at first base. I think he just made the turn and kept going. I think that's what fooled the scorekeeper.
There's strike 3 call. He got Forkner looking, and Forkner not too happy with that call by home plate umpire Mike Pitcher, and he'll go back to the dugout a little upset. Let's see who's right in this situation.
Well, he shouldn't be upset right here. Will Kane makes just a great pitch. See that ball? What happens is the ball comes back. You got the height. We don't have an overview, but that's a good pitch.
And when you can see started to come back over the plate at the last moment, and Kane's numbers 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. So runner at second, 1 big out, and R.J. Bowers, who struck out looking his first time, tried to check it up, didn't, and the count 0-1.
Well, that was a big out for Will, because you know what he was trying to do, or what Forkner was trying to do, was advancing to third base. They could have a man in scoring position with 1 out or less. He wasn't able to do that, so Will did a good job, and now it makes it.
Here's a little pop fly behind the second base area. Millar out to go get it. He'll make the catch, and now quickly there's 2 gone. So right now Will Kane's made a number of good pitches after the runner reached second with nobody out.
Well, they got 2 big outs right there, and of course right now again he's got a left-handed hitter up. He's got first base open. He doesn't really have to make a quality pitch here, so it's even going to be a little bit tougher for Rennick to swing. He's not going to get a whole lot to swing, I wouldn't think.
2 outs, runner at second. Mike Rennick walked his first time, so he does not have an official at bat. Here's the pitch, good off speed, in there for a strike. 0-1.
Well, he's got a right-handed hitter up next with Noel Rodriguez, so that ball right there actually got, I think, just a little too much of the plate. I think right now he's either going to have to bust him up and in or keep everything away with that base open.
Kane started the world as if to throw to second, but nobody was covering, and Hidalgo takes a couple of steps back towards second. 1-0 Quad City. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 2 outs, and Hidalgo leading at second. Here's a pitch missed inside, and the count 1-1. Here comes Billy Bird. What the story is
Billy Bird, this is a pretty critical situation here. Does Billy Bird know that?
Well, that's all part of the festivities here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, and got to be ready for anything. There's a swing and a foul tip, and the count now 1-2.
Well, a good off-speed pitch right there by Will, but I don't like to see him throw off-speed pitches with that base open, Dave. You really want to go with your #1 pitch, which I think in all probability is his fastball and probably that breaking ball, but you don't want to throw an off-speed pitch when you're ahead of a hitter like this. You wind up in a lot of trouble.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets away from Redmond. He'll throw out over the first, and that will retire Rennick. Strikeout 2-3 on the putout, and after a leadoff double by Hidalgo, he's stranded right there. And you can see the replay. Good downward action on that breaking ball. And Redmond after it in a hurry to throw out Rennick by quite a large margin. So We have played 3.5 as you get a shot of Billy Bird trying to get the crowd going. It's 1-0 Quad City, and we mentioned it before that, well, not only do the players sometimes have to get involved, but even the men in blue might have to do so, as Billy Bird going over by the umpire here. And he's always friendly with the men in blue.
I just kind of thought that timing there with Will Kane on the mound with a man in scoring position in a pretty good ball game to stop his concentration, but you know, I'm just a guest.
And Billy Bird trying to get the home plate umpire involved in the dance here. And right now the home plate umpire won't have anything to do with it, but now he's starting to loosen up a little bit.
See, they do have personalities. If anybody out there watching, umpires do have personalities.
Right now, I think he's going to try and teach him a couple of who. Here we go. I guess
whoever choreographed this, it looks like they've been practicing a little bit. Look at this.
That's pretty impressive.
Very nice.
Paul Abdul eating her heart out. Doing a great job here. And the crowd loves it. And you get a shot of the crowd here at Phil-Alstrom Stadium, and a good time had by all. Oh, here we go.
Boy, Mike Fitzger's just doing one whale of a job here, isn't he?
Well, you know, those Lansing guys, you know, they just do a little dancing, and now he's got them going, and a great job done by Billy Bird and the umpire.
And it might be one of the rare times that an umpire gets an ovation. So savor this one.
A good shot of the folks here at the ballpark. I'm sure a few Millar Genuine Drafts or Miller Lights are being had here tonight. It's a beautiful day for baseball as you get a shot at from our center field camera.
Well, Dave, I haven't seen a whole lot of your friends leaning over your shoulder tonight with a Frosty. I guess it's just it's not above 90, or
well,
is it,
you know, I think they get a little intimidated because I'm on television. You know, they probably are a little nervous, or security's a little tighter.
A little tighter with TV.
When SportsChannel's here. First pitch to Billy McMillan, leading off the bottom of the fourth. Missed inside, 1-0. Plus, I think they knew I was up late last night and up early this morning. That pitch fouled off, and the count evening up at 1-1.
Well, I think what Billy's doing, the first time up, he was, even though he had one bad swing, he had some pretty good swings, but he's uppercutting a little bit, Dave, and I think what he's doing, he's letting the ball get to home plate too much. Right now, he's got to hit that ball out in front of home plate.
1-1 to McMillan. He fouls this one straight back, and McMillan nailing our trio video truck outside of the ballpark. As you see McMillan, fourth in the Midwest League in RBIs. Simonton, who is now up to San Jose, tied for first. A 1-2, chopped to the right side. Here's Bridges. Easy out, 4-3. That one just plain and simply ate him up. So 1 out as McMillan heads back toward the Cougar dugout. And here's Brendan Kingman, 1 for 1, the DH for the Cougars here tonight. Brendan Kingman from Australia. One of 2 Aussies on the Cougars roster here in 1994. Pitch low for ball 1.
Well, Lynn Jones had this to say about Billy McMillan right here. He's an intelligent hitter, line drive type of hitter who shows signs of power and has made impressive strides.
Kingman ready with the 1-0. Goes the other way, but fouls this one off over toward the Cougar bullpen. And the count evening up at 1-1.
I went over these short bios of the Kane County Cougar players, and I think they did a good job with this, Dave. They're really accurate. I think Lynn Jones knows his players pretty well, and what little I've been out here, the times I have, I kind of, you know, concur with a lot of things he's saying. I think you see that in the players, and it looks like he knows his team pretty well.
The 1-1. Right call down the inside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. Well, the Cougars Public Relations Department here doing a fine job to make sure that when the press do come out here that they know exactly everything they need to know about the Kane County Cougars. Paul Palian, Jenny Parmalee, as there's a Pfister foul right side. Joe Vivo doing a fine job to inform the media about the goings on here at Phil-Alstrom Stadium, and that's one of the reasons why there's going to be well over 8,000 people here this afternoon. 1-2, the count remains to Brendan Kingman. again. He hacks that one foul right side, and the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the last pitch to Kingman before that fastball right there was a breaking ball, but it doesn't look like the Cougars are on that. I think Jamie Walker's breaking ball is not breaking. I think they're waiting for it to break, and it doesn't. They're swinging at the last minute. I just forget all about his breaking ball and just look for off-speed stuff or fastball.
Here's a little pop-up in the left field. On the run is Rennick. He'll make the catch. And quickly, there's 2 gone here in the 4th.
And you see these hitters a lot more than me, Dave, but I'm sure they make adjustments through the course of the game pretty well. They're pretty an intelligent bunch as a group.
Well, they sit there and, I'll talk to Rod Allen after the ball game, and he said, I'll be telling these guys all night long to make an adjustment, move up, move your hands back, do something, do this. And they do it for about the first pitch of the next at bat, then they step out and it just all escapes, and the mind starts to wander a little bit as the first pitch to Kevin Millar is a strike called on the inside part, 0-1.
Well, it's a good fastball right there by Walker, and that's the pitch he needs to set up all his off-speed stuff away. That's how he's getting these Cougars to really jam themselves. They're stepping into the ball and dragging the bat.
Breaking ball missed inside, and the count evening up at 1-1.
So he's not even throwing his breaking ball for a strike. So there's really not much to look for, except for a fastball and a change of speeds. And there he's getting them right there. That's a good pitch, though. That's a pitch right there that looks like it's coming down the middle of the plate. Looks like it's coming down the middle of the plate, and it just kind of drops away. And this is a good pitch right here by Walker. Hitter's completely wide open. His whole body's flying out. There's not much you can do with that. And you're right. You need to make a lot of adjustments.
The 1-2 to Millar, and he's caught looking. Inside corner, ring him up, and Millar baffled and betwixt after that AB. 3 up, 3 down for the Cougars in the 4th. We are through 4 at Phil Alstrom. It's 1-0 Quad City. Heading to the top of the 5th here at Phil Alstrom Stadium in Geneva, Illinois. 1-0 in favor of the River Bandits over the Cougars as Will Canane gets ready to face Noel Rodriguez, Jamie Saylor, and Eddie Ramos. Rodriguez bounced into a 4-6-3 double play his last time. Fouls this one off right side and into the crowd. See some of the another one of the in-between inning promotions here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. They're launching watered down Nerf balls. And folks are fighting over them and getting a little damp as they do so. But on a day like today, temperature near 80. Sure, a little water didn't hurt them. Probably felt good as the 0-1 from Canane is outside, a ball, 1-1. You not only got to be aware as you walk into a lot of major league parks that says, please be aware of possible foul balls, bats, so on and so forth. You got to be aware of Nerf balls and a lot of other things flying into the crowd as Canane got Rodriguez to swing and miss right there, 1-2.
Well, this game's kind of shaping up a little bit. We talked about the pregame, Dave. There's not a whole lot going on. We knew both pitchers were going to get the ball over to plate, throw a lot of strikes, and that just seems to be what's happening right here. The game plan for the pitcher seems to be working.
Pitch misses low and away, and the count now 2-2 to Rodriguez.
And we talk a lot of times when things aren't really happening in the pace of the game and stuff where the managers should institute some maybe some hit and runs and some bunts, maybe some steals. You gotta manufacture runs when both pitchers to this point have pretty good control of the game.
Rodriguez fouled that last pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to him.
And of course the wind here at Kane County is more or less blowing in. We have wind out here most all the time. It's a pretty tough ballpark unless you get those southwest winds blowing straight out to hit a ball out.
The pitch misses low, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. See a little breeze on Old Glory out there in right center field. You can see if you look in center field a shower head a la Bill Veeck, the way he used to have it out at Old Comiskey Park. So if you want to really cool off, you go out there. So there's a swing and another foul back out of play. There's a shot of the shower right there. As usual, a bunch of
doesn't look like it's working today.
A bunch of youngsters are out there. I don't know.
Well, I think the best way to cool off is with a Miller. Not for the little kids like this. The shower work wonders,
but the wait till you're 21.
But the cool Frosties will help you here today.
3-2 the count. Here's a pitch, missed low. He walked it. Second walk of the ball game for Kane, and as we mentioned earlier in the ball game, in his last 5 appearances, he had only walked 1.
Well, 7 overall. So this is pretty uncharacteristic right here of Will Kane, but he's done a good job. He's got he had a big inning last inning with a man on second base, nobody out, and got out of that jam, and you know, he just shows a lot of poise out there.
Throw over to first. Rodriguez standing back in, may have to get a little dirty next time. Well, those leadoff walks come around and score about 75% of the time, and you've got to be careful. There goes the runner, but it is fouled off, and Rodriguez will have to get back in the count. 0-1 to Jamie Saylor.
It's like manager Steve Dillard felt he put a little hit and run in there. I think he's trying to get things going. What you want to do is really get that defense making plays. You know, whether they make errors or not, you got to put that ball in the play, and you got to make things happen and create things, and I think that's what Steve Dillard's trying to do.
Kane with another throw over to first, and again the runner back.
I wasn't real big when latter part of my career, Dave. I wound up at first base on a day like this with the sun and of course the fans out there with their white t-shirts and everything, and the pitcher throwing 90 miles an hour to me. You can get picked off pretty easy. You really got to concentrate as a first baseman. You got to watch that pitcher like that base runner does, because I've seen a lot of first basemen just get nailed.
Well, Millar, similar in one respect, where he was also a third baseman last year in the Northern League, now over on the other side, as this could be 2. Southern to Millar. Look at him get rid of it, and he got it. Great turn again by Ralph Millar. You don't see too many quicker in the big leagues, and he got rid of it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Millar did a good job, because this ball isn't hit real hard. A 2-hopper to Southern. He kind of fed him kind of slow right there, but you know, like you said, Millar's got that major league ability to turn that double play, and they get 2.
Second double play, and look at Millar. He hangs in there and got rid of it in a hurry.
Well, he hangs in there and he does get rid of it. Almost looks like that ball just kind of skips off his glove and he flips it right out. So
well, that's it, though.
Impressive,
I mean, that's what you want to do as a second baseman. You don't want to catch it. You want to, in a sense, just kind of stop it and transfer it. That's all you're doing. Is there's a bouncer foul down third. Ramos 1-1. They count against him.
Well, what you're really doing is you're cupping it with your throwing hand. The ball's coming, and with a lot of practice, you'll learn how to cup the ball in there instead of reaching in and grabbing it. Your hand is in the glove at the same time the ball is coming, and that allows you to flip it out a lot quicker.
This one fouled off, and the count now quickly 1-2. I'll tell you, it has turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous day for baseball here at Phil Stadium, as you get a shot of Will Kane. And there's a shot of the ballpark, and kudos to Jim Castro and his grounds crew to have this ballpark looking just tremendous. This place always looks great, and they dressed it up a little more for the folks at SportsChannel here today. Pitch outside, and the count 2-2. 2 outs, nobody aboard here in the top of the 5th. 1-0 Quad City, and this should do it. Up right side, foul territory. Millar gloves it, and that will retire the side. So Will Kane dodges a mini bullet here on a leadoff walk. He raced on the 6-4-3 double play, and we've played 4.5 here at Phil Stadium. And it is Quad City 1, the Cougars nothing. And get a shot at the Wendy's $1 million glove out there in right field. If a Cougar hit that glove on a home run, well, a fan, the player, and a charity split $1 million. But right here, we are getting ready for the Toys R Us Human Bowling Ball. A person inside of that bowling ball all strapped in and ready to go.
Well, they look scared to death until they actually do it. And by the time they get to the bottom of that ramp and they knock over those pins, they feel like $1 million. They don't even want to come out of that cage.
Joe Womack, I believe, is inside of the Toys R Us Human Bowling Ball. And Joe Vivo and company ready to roll her down the ramp and into the pins that await. Look at her hold on. And there she goes.
Right.
Oh, no, Joe Vivo. Oh,
they waited. They waited the bottom.
Down. And there she is. Finally did get the split.
Well, they said they'd weight him down, and they did.
We'll get another look at this as she, look at her strapped in, big smile on her face, and I have to blame the rollers on that one. Got to get her, you know.
We're having a tough time today.
We're going gutter ball.
We got everybody mad at Ozzie. It's the first time Ozzie has won in 3 years. This is the first time I've been out here and we didn't have a strike. She looks a little disappointed.
She hit the base of that one pin and just came to a screeching halt. So we get ready to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Quad City leading the Cougars by a score of 1-0. You see the numbers 1, 2, and 0 for Quad City. 0, 4, and 1 so far for the Cougars, as it'll be Ron Brown, Mike Redmond, and Scott Southern to face left-hander Jamie Walker, the lower third of the batting order for Kane County.
Stepping to the plate, center fielder Ron Brown.
Cougars keeping it close, trying to get on the board. They only scored 1 run Saturday night against the River Bandits, as that pitch a little bit high, ball 1. Brown 1 for 1, a little single his last time up. As he waits on the 1-0, the floater missed high, and the count now quickly 2-0.
Well, the Bandits are really leaving a lot of room in that outfield. There's a lot of distance between. They're playing pretty much straight away, and if you can see that gap between right center and left center field, if we can get the Cougars to hit some line drives, I think we're going to see some extra base hits.
Goes the other way with it. In foul territory it'll go, as Bowers will give chase, but won't be able to track it down, and the count will go to 1-1.
Well, Ron Brown did try to go to right field, but I think what you don't want to do is you don't want to lean out that way. What he really needs to do is wait for that ball to get to him and then hit it behind home plate or the middle of the plate and or behind. A lot of people have a tendency to lean out that way. It causes you to uppercut and to feel for the ball, and you know, more times than not, you're going to fly out to right field.
The 1-1, he way out in front of that one, didn't get it, in the count 1-2.
Here's just a right here, just a change up, and we've seen it in the last 5 innings. All these Cougar hitters are really off balance, and I think Walker's really staying with his game plan, Dave.
I'll tell you, the way Walker's throwing, he's not throwing very hard. The Cougars have got to make some adjustments. Now, you mentioned a couple of nights ago that they don't seem to move up and back and forth in the box as much as they did in the past, but they got to do something here because they are not getting good hacks. Here's a bounce to the third. Faulkner knocks it down, throws, and swings. Jason Gibbons says Brown beat it out. Hustling down the line as Faulkner tried to fight that one off.
Well, Faulkner takes a little bit of a bad hop right here. The thing he did right is he had his body, came up a little bit, kept the ball in front of him, and he picks it up the proper way with his bare hand, but just a little bit too much speed, so it's really an E5.
Close play there at first. We'll get another look, and I think he just took his eye off it at the last moment, too.
It more or less hit the heel of his glove and then just shot straight up. But he did the right thing by keeping it in front of him and trying to pick it up with his bare hand.
E5 it'll be called, as here's a bunt laid down by Redmond. Tough play for Walker. The throw, and he got him. Walker got off that mound in a hurry, and now that's just the opposite of what Dave Berg did. And we talked about it. If you're going to bunt against a left-hander, you'll see here. Watch Walker. He falls off toward that way, so he's got his momentum going there already.
Well, it's a good idea for Mike Redmond to do that. And you're right, Walker got off the mound. He is the defensive fielder out there, and he made a good play on that. But I think it was a good idea for Mike Redmond. Now he advances Ron Brown to second base, and that's what you want to do in a low-scoring game. You want to give some opportunities to your offense.
Sacrifice 1-3. 1 on, 1 out, and here's the pitch to Southern in there for a strike. 0-1 as the folks trying to get the Rogers Flooring rally meter out there in left field. Rocking and rolling. Scoreboard trying to get him louder. Here's the 0-1 now from Walker. Swinging a bouncer toward third. Over to get it, Faulkner. Flips on the run. He'll get Southern. Stopping at third is Ron Brown. There's 2 gone.
Here's a nice play by Faulkner, Dave. It's a swinging bunt, one of the toughest plays for a third baseman. If you'll see it, he waits, reads the ball, gets it on the hop, and takes 1 step and throws, and that's exactly what you have to do. And usually when you do that, if you take 1 extra step, you can get a lot more on the ball. But right there, he knew the speed of Southern and just took 1 step and threw him out. Good play.
Seen some fine defensive plays here this afternoon already on both sides. 2 outs for Glenn Reeves. He puts down a bunt up in the air. Going to be a tough play. Walker dives and can't come up with it. but it is a foul ball. Walker and Brown almost got tangled up going down the line there. They almost.
Well, Jamie's pretty. Walker right here is pretty impressive. I mean, his mind's in the game. Look at him. Look how aggressive he is. I like that. And I tell you, if he'd have been, he reaches for it. Has no play here at all, but at least he's there trying. But if he'd have dove for that ball, if he got over a little slower and dove for that in fair territory, we might have an easy run.
So Brown stays at third.
The pitchers have to
count to Reed.
Pitchers have to understand they can really help themselves in games by being good fielders.
Now Reeves puts another one down. Another tough play for Forkner. Bare hands, throws, and gets him. A fine play by Tim Forkner. And he made a couple of them.
Well,
in this fifth.
That's a big-time play right there, because if he doesn't make this play, the run scores. A little tougher on the third baseman, not only to come in and make this play, but he's also got the threat right there, that runner scoring if he doesn't get the ball. But that's a nice play right there by Faulkner, and what led all this off was an error by him. But just goes to show you, you still concentrate every hitter up, and he made two fine plays.
And to 5, 1-0 Quad City. Welcome back here to Phil Alstrom Stadium. Top of the 6th inning coming up. Quad City leading the Cougars by a score of 1-0. And coming up for the Bandits will be the number 9 hitter Alan Probst, as he checked his swing, fouls it off for strike 1. Probst 0 for 1, flew out to center field his first time, and there you get a shot of the Wendy's horse race that goes on in between innings here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. And I think the winning section was the bleachers, and you get some of our jockeys. They're a little bigger than the normal jockeys. That pitch outside, 1-1. Want to welcome Ken Korak, the Sunday voice of the Chicago White Sox, and you've got a little minor league background as well with the Las Vegas Stars. Good to see you here.
Good to be here, Dave. Great crowd today. This is fantastic.
So how'd the White Sox do today?
It wasn't a great day for the Sox or the other Major League Baseball team in Chicago. Not a great day for the Cubs or the Sox, as you know.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count to Probst. Will Kinane working into the 6th. There's a pitch, and there's strike 3 called. Got him looking. So how are things going now? You got a big golf outing tomorrow with Ed Farmer.
Yeah, the Ed Farmer Open. He's been giving me a bad time all season long about this, and so bragging rights, I guess, at stake for the rest of the year. It's a good pitch in the outside corner. But I got started in baseball in 1984 at the single-A level, and I really miss it, because this is really something special. It's the first time I've been to this facility, and it's beautiful. What a great crowd today.
Swinging a foul off to the right side by Kerry Bridges, in the count 0-1. We work together on WMAQ on Sundays, and we've never met. This first time we've met each other.
Well, you're always in the studio, and I'm always at the ballpark.
Bridges so far today 0 for 2. Now the 0-1 miss low and inside, 1 ball and a strike. Now I've never been out to Las Vegas. I got married in Vegas, didn't make it over to the ballpark, but
you had better things to do that day, right?
How does your ballpark compare to this? I've heard you guys got a very nice looking one there. There's a line drive just by a leaping Ralph Millar into right for a base hit. Bridges aboard with a 1-out single.
It's a beautiful place. It's called Cashman Field. It's adjacent to the downtown area. Holds about 10,000. Somewhat like this, in that the stands go all the way around. We have a second level that overhangs, where we have a restaurant and a press area. Very pretty, well decorated. The city of Las Vegas and the Convention Authority keeps it up, and it looks as good as it did when it opened in 1983. Palm trees around the outfield fence, well landscaped. Many people consider it to be the best ballpark in the Pacific Coast League, although, Dave, there's a new park in Salt Lake City, and they spent $19 million on this new facility in Salt Lake. The Twins have their AAA club there.
Yeah, they're
close play, yeah. And that place holds about 15,000.
Wow.
It looks like a mini Camden Yard. So as you know, and you've been around the game, it's amazing what's happening at all levels of baseball with the new stadiums.
A couple of quick throws over to first, and Bridges has had to dive back in as you get a look at Richard Hidalgo. Hidalgo 1 for 2 today with a double. 1 on, 1 out. Cougar infield at double play depth is Kinane working from the stretch. And he'll step off. So now your situation is you work the Vegas Stars Monday through Friday, and then you come out here for the weekend.
Yeah, Monday through Thursday when they're home. about 35 games, and we have an 8-game road TV package, which I'm involved in. They're going to pick him off here sooner or later.
Sooner or later is right.
So about 35 home games and 8 road games, and then join the Sox every weekend.
Here's that move again, and a fine throw, and oh boy, I tell you, I think he got him there. And too bad we don't have instant replay in baseball. Maybe it's a good thing we don't have instant replay in baseball. Some of these 3-hour games might be much longer.
We can umpire from here, though, can't we?
I don't know if it'll work quite that well. Here's the pitch to Hidalgo. He pops it up on the infield. Millar has the ball, and there's 2 gone. So did you find it all right? Did I give you good enough directions?
Great directions.
All right.
Oh, there's signs all over the roads, the freeways. Although the parking lot here is jammed.
Yeah.
This has to be one of the bigger crowds of the year.
I think we're going to have close to 8,500 here. I mean, this is just, you get a shot of the third base side. That lawn area down the left field line just well populated. And there's just a beautiful shot from our center field camera of Phil Alstrom Stadium out here in Geneva, Illinois. 2 outs for Tim Forkner. He has scored the only run of the ball game, as you see the right center field bleachers, the newest addition to Phil Alstrom Stadium, as that pitch missed inside, ball 1.
What a great time it is all over America. Baseball this weekend and fireworks the 4th of July. And, you know, hundreds of ballparks with capacity crowds and hopefully great weather like we have today. It's a magnificent weekend.
You want to know the count? It ain't a long look, and now time is called. Well, you know, AAA is the step right below Major League Baseball, and that's where you're at with Las Vegas. But a lot of the fans out here, you know, they do have the opportunity to go into Comiskey Park and Wrigley Field an awful lot, but they seem to come back out here because there's a little bit of everything, just even more than just baseball. As this one glances off the glove of Kane, Millar will have no play. Now the runner trying for third. Millar with the throw on the run, and he got it. Great play by Kevin Millar. As Bridges talking with Steve Dillard, saying, I guess I shouldn't have done this. We have seen some fine defensive plays here today, and here's just another one. See Millar, after Millar bobbled it, Millar went after it. Now he's a converted third baseman, and that's almost like a throw to third base charging from the hot corner. Dave Wills along with Ken Korak here at Phil Alstrom Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 1-0 Quad City. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Quad City is stepping in for the Cougars to start the 6th. Dave Berg, who's 1 for 2 today. See the story right there. Not much offense and some fine defensive plays. Left-hander Walker comes in with a fastball, missed there, 2-0. Dave Wills along with Bill Melton and Ken Korak joining us in the booth right here. Ken, the Sunday radio voice of the Chicago White Sox, and play-by-play voice for the Las Vegas Stars, the AAA affiliate of the San Diego Padres. Now the 2-0 to Berg. That's low, ball 3, 3-0. Trying to bring a winner to the only team in Chicago or Chicagoland here today. The White Sox and the Cubs having it tough earlier on.
Well, those 2 games were high scoring. This is a great pitcher's duel today, Dave.
And there's ball 4. He walked him. So the Cougars, Dave Berg reaching on the walk to start the 6th. And I know you and Farmio talk about this all the time. I got to get this promo in, though, very quick. It's your chance to strut your stuff on the court by playing SportsChannel's Hoop There It Is contest. You could win your very own team in this year's Shoot the Bull 3-on-3 Classic. All you need to do is send your Shoot the Bull all-time dream team of 3 NBA players, past or present, to SportsChannel. Hoop There It Is, 820 West Madison, Oak Park, Illinois, 60302. Entries must be received by July the 10th. If your team is chosen, you'll compete in this year's 3-on-3 contest in Grant Park. But this is what Ed Farmer always likes to talk about. Leadoff walks come around and score about 80% of the time.
Yeah, the White Sox pitchers walked 10 batters today, and that was really their undoing. Alvarez did not make it out of the 3rd inning.
See what Millar's going to do. He squared around as if to bunt, but takes it outside, ball 1. And Walker now having a tough time finding the plate to start this 6th.
I love those uniforms.
We were just, this is the first time we pulled them out this year. And I tell you, I worked with this Shoreline group and Joe LaRocca, who designed them, and I thought they looked great on paper. And then I see them live and in person, they look even better. 1-0. Floater missed outside and the count 2-0.
If the Cougars win today, they might have to keep wearing them. At least I know they're going out on the road tomorrow. When they come back home, they're going to have to keep those babies on.
They become new garb, and I'll tell you, a lot of times, you know, and you know, talking with players, they don't like to change from the routine. But I think a lot of these guys really like the way these uniforms look.
There's great superstition in the game, as you know.
Right there, Gary Lucas, pitching coach for the Quad City River Bandits, going out to talk as you get a shot at the Cougar dugout. And you don't see too many Oakleys back in the 1800s or 1890s when these uniforms are kind of patterned after, but nonetheless, they still look very good, and the hats look very nice as well. Maybe you should bring one with you on your golf outing.
Yeah. Hey, if it'll lower my score, I'd do almost anything.
Millar waits on the 2-0, and that's on the outside corner. A strike, 2 balls and a strike. Ralph Millar, one of the league leaders in scoring. He's at 54. His teammate Billy McMillan has scored 58 runs. 2 balls and a strike. Millar tries to go the other way, fouls it off, and the count 2-2. Good shot of Ralph Millar, and we've talked about him defensively. About as good as it gets around second base at the Class A level.
You know, I don't think you're going to see a big difference defensively between single A, double A, and triple A. The best club that I ever covered in the minor leagues defensively was a single A club back in 1984, and by far the best defensive club I've covered. I think the biggest difference would be maybe triple A to the big leagues. More of the plays are made, I think, Dave, in the big leagues, but there are a lot of great defensive players here at single A. A lot of very talented players that even never make it to triple A. That's not necessarily because they're not talented enough. I think sometimes in baseball we're hung up on potential. You know, does the guy throw 90 miles an hour on the jugs gun? How fast does he run to first base? And a lot of pretty good players get weeded out.
Millar hanging tough, fouls another one off, and the count 2-2. How much has minor league baseball changed, though, since you've been involved? I mean, were there as many promotions and everything else like that that go on in between innings now as there were when you first started out?
I think so. I think the promotions were always a big part of the game. I think the biggest change is, number one, the ballparks, and two, the amount of money that some of the minor league clubs are costing now. I know the first team that I worked for was bought for like $30,000.
Wow. Here's a pitch. Millar bounces it to third. Forkner gloves it, goes to second for 1 over the first, not in time. Safe everywhere, though. They're saying he's safe at second, and now Jason Gibbon going to get a talking to from a lot of gray uniforms, and I hope you don't know how to read lips, because Gary Bridges not too happy. And now neither is Steve Dillard as he comes out to join in the conversation. We'll take another look, and here's our chance to be umpires again, Ken.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Millar hit the ball hard, got it to Forkner, who he fought that one off nicely. Now, back a couple of innings ago, we had Kerry Bridges well off the bag, and that's pretty close to call. He gave it to him back a couple of innings ago, didn't give it to him here.
But that's an out, as you know, 99% of the time.
Yes,
all you've got to do is be in the vicinity. You know, some guys at second aren't even in the same area code. But that's got to be an out right there, especially with as hard as he came in sliding into second. You've got to give the player, be it the second baseman or the shortstop covering the bag, the opportunity to defend himself. Now, Melton played third. He didn't have to worry about that a whole lot. But I think you've got to call that out at second base.
Well, like we said, as I look back, we had a double play or fielder's choice back in the second inning. And Brendan Kingman was forced on a very similar play. But right here, Jason Gibbon deciding that it will go down, as you see Steve Dillard still trying to plead his case. And sooner or later, it's time to play ball again. I mean, I know we got fireworks after the ball game, and we're, got some time to kill, but you can see what he's arguing about right here. And I'll tell you, that's very close.
I think they've got a pretty good argument.
We're going to call it an E5, the throw pulling off Kerry Bridges. And Steve Dillard's still out there. So fielder's choice, error 5 will be the official score.
You know, we were talking about how things have changed and the changing face in the minor leagues. I know that the Las Vegas club, which came from Spokane, when the group bought the team when it was in Spokane, they bought it for less than $100,000. around, I believe it was around 81. And when the team was sold 2 years ago, it sold for $7.5 million. That to me is the biggest change. I mean, it's big business now.
Oh, no doubt about it.
The promotions have always been very important, but for lack of a better phrase, maybe a lot of the clubs were run by mom and pop kind of operations. Now you're getting people that have a lot of money that are getting involved, and they're really becoming investments for these people.
Well, once again, Steve Dillard now having some conversations with Mike Pitcher, who's coming out, the home plate umpire, and the crew chief, and he's saying, all right, let's go. You've made your point. Now let's play baseball. And I think Dillard now, he's only going to be left if he's told to leave, and that might be what Mike Pitcher is going to do. Jason Given, and you've seen it enough times, if an umpire knows he might have made a mistake, well, he's going to let a manager stay out there a little longer.
Yeah, he may say, hey, listen, I might have blown that one. Now go take a seat. Everybody understands the situation, but you're right. He might have to throw him out of the ball game to get him off the field.
Get a shot of the crowd. They're really starting to say, let's play ball again. But, you know, they know, too, that fireworks are coming up afterward. And now here we go. Pitcher and Dillard are getting chest to chest, and Pitcher saying, that's enough. Let's go. He's saying, let's go and let's play ball.
And as you know, there's great competition among the umpires to advance in baseball as well. When you're umpiring, you never know. It might be that particular night where...
There he goes.
Yeah, they got him. That's the only way they're getting him out of here.
He just threw him out. Dillard lost the hat. And now, well, he's going to get, I think, his $50 worth that he gets fined at the Class A level. Maybe the $25 worth. And now, Kerry Bridges got tossed by Jason Given. So Given, it's been a twin tossing here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. Oh, my. And the crowd happy with this one. This has been the most they've cheered about something all day. Oh, well. George Spelius and the Midwest League coffers have just got a little richer.
Well, it's not going to be dark for a while, and it's already the bottom or the top of the 6th inning, so why not? The bottom of the 6th.
1-0 still in favor of the Quad City River Bandits, and this has gone on for about 5 or 6 minutes. I mean, it's about time they finally decided to get things moving along, and now Steve Dillard still having a few extra words for home plate umpire Mike Pitcher.
It's very important, no matter whether it was the right call or not, for the umpires to stay in control of the situation. And you never know. This might be the night when the supervisor is on hand watching the game, and these guys come unannounced to watch the umpires. And you may only get 2 or 3 or 4 times during the course of a year to really show what you can do. And it's very important to stay in control and be in command of the situation.
Well, there goes the one man who was tossed. It might have been the shortstop Jamie Saylor who was kicked out. I think it was Saylor who was kicked out, as Bridges, I believe, might still be in there. And now Steve Dillard finally making it to the dugout as well. Well, you knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Dillard wasn't going to be leaving unless he had been kicked out of the ball game, and Mike Pitcher had finally heard enough.
Well, that's another 4th of July weekend tradition.
You know, and you were talking about umpires. I mean, they really have it tough to get up to the big leagues, because once those big league umpires get there, they're there for a long time. They don't necessarily, there isn't a lot of turnover among big league umpires, as Tony Rich coming on now to play shortstop, and there isn't a lot of turnover among major league announcers either, as you and I know.
Oh, there's a lot of competition at all levels of the game, and the umpires down here. And one thing that's changed in baseball, I know at the AAA level, is if you don't make it to the big leagues after 3 or 4 years in AAA, you're gone. You're looking for another job, and you may have spent 6 or 8 years just trying to get to AAA, and they weed you out very quickly. So it's tough, and these guys, they never have a home game.
No.
You know, they're on the road all season long. It's a tough job, and you've really got to hold on to that dream.
So Saylor has been indeed kicked out of the ball game. So had the manager Steve Dillard for the Quad City River Bandits. The Cougars, as it stands, runners at first and second after all this. Nobody out, and Billy McMillan coming up to the plate, and Cougar fans getting a little more than they bargained for their $6, $5, $4, and $3. So money well spent on this 4th of July weekend. Runners at first and second, and the infield up at the corner. McMillan showed bunt, didn't get it down, but takes it low for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. McMillan 0 for 2 so far today. 12-minute delay, I've been told, from the truck, so making sure we don't have to maybe have as long as a hula hoop contest in between the end of the ball game and the fireworks. As there's a bunt laid down by McMillan. He'll get the runners over. As throwing them out at first base is Tim Fortner. And there's one gone on the sacrifice. It'll go 5-4. You know, we were talking about the changes in minor league baseball, and there's no doubt, as you mentioned, it's big business nowadays. And it seemed back in the early 90s, late 80s, owners made their money when they sold the team. Now they're making money while they own it and after they sell it as well. And it's just become a huge family entertainment. I mean, this place is just, as some people like to say, it's 9 innings of halftime, you know, and there's always something going on.
Yeah, and it's great, and you're right. And there's great competition among the cities now. And if you're in a particular area where your stadium is not suitable, hey, owners are going to leave and say, hey, listen, I'm going somewhere else. They're going to build me a nice, beautiful ballpark. And who would have thought, Dave, about luxury suites, you know, at the minor league level, but it exists. And I think it's great. And really, baseball is baseball. I mean, even down here, these kids are very fine players. It's a beautiful place to come watch a game. Let's face it, it's still 90 feet from home plate to first base.
Here's a pitch to Kingman, a little chopper back to the mound. Again, Walker will field. Throw Kingman out, 1-3 on the putout, and there's 2 gone, and still runners at second and third. The Cougars have not been able to get the runners in from third here today. And this, as you mentioned, it's baseball, so it's got something for the baseball fan, and it's entertainment, and it keeps people happy and coming back for the non-baseball fans as well.
We need to provide outlets like this for our youngsters, bring families out. No, I can't say enough about it.
So 2 outs, 1-0 still in favor of Quad City, and Kevin Millar stepping in. First base open. They'll probably be very careful with him. That pitch, though, on the outside corner. Good pitch, strike 1.
So you're going to Appleton tomorrow.
Yeah, I get to go to Appleton, Wisconsin tomorrow. So who's favored in this golf outing tomorrow? Who would you say?
Well, I would say that if you ask Farmer, he would say that it's his home course.
Yes, it is.
I'll give you the disclaimer right now. I'll give you all the excuses. I was
thinking about that on the way in. I'm thinking, you know, he plays at Ruffled Feathers all the time. So
right.
Have you played there yet?
I played there once last year. I'm kind of stuck in the desert, though. I've got that desert game.
Manuel Barrios loosening up down in the Quad City bullpen. Yeah, this is kind of air conditioning for you. 80 degrees out.
Great.
Pitch down to the dirt. Good stop by Probst. In that big body in front of him.
I get to spend a total of about a month a year in Chicago when you add up the various dates and times. And it's almost like living in 2 cities at once. I really feel fortunate. The Sox have been just a great organization to work for. MAQ, as you know, gotten to know Bill Melton over the years. He's been one of my favorites for a long time. And so I think the situation's worked out very well.
Pitch is high, and the count now 2-2 to Millar. Millar's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he struck out looking. I'm Dave Wills, joined by Ken Korak, the Sunday voice of the Chicago White Sox. Here is the Cougars and the Quad City River Bandits in a Midwest League battle here in Geneva, Illinois. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 aboard. Cougars trail at 1-0. A base hit could give the Cougars a lead. Good speed at second in Millar. Here's the pitch, a little pister, and it will drop in, a base hit. 1 run is in. Here's Millar around third. He'll score. Millar racing for second. He'll get there. A 2-run double for Kevin Millar, and the Cougars with a 2-1 lead. And the crowd likes that as the Cougars have turned it around here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Little bloop. It'll go look as a line drive double tomorrow, but he just fought it off and hit it where they ain't. That's the bottom line.
And that play at second base is the biggest play of the inning. If the out is called there, this is still a 1-0 ball game, and we're in the 7th inning right now.
Quad City is batting. That's right. As you can see, Bauer's getting it back in, and Millar with some aggressive base running. You know, hey, you make the 3rd out at second. All right, you know, you never really like to make the 3rd out of the bases, but now he's in scoring position. and a base hit gives you a 2-run lead. So good piece of hitting by Kevin Millar on a nice little fister down the right field side. They're going to appeal the play at third, and he's out. They say that Millar missed third base. Or who missed it?
Yeah,
It must have been Millar. It couldn't have been Dave Burke because he was on third. Oh boy, we have seen it all. Ken, thanks for stopping by.
Dave, great to be with you.
All right, Ken Korak joining us here as we are going to keep it right here. And now we go back. It's 1-1 now at the end of 6 because, in fact, Millar retired because of missing third base going around. So we've seen a little bit of everything here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, and it will continue as Billy Bird comes on out with another youngster. As we have the youngster coming out with not only Billy Bird now, but also Ozzie the Cougar mascot. As the fun continues, and I don't know what they're going to do here. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a dance-off or something here. I'm not sure. Yes, indeed, it's going to be a dance-off. Billy Bird going up against Ozzie and the youngster. So it'll be a trio of dancers here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. Boy, we have seen a little bit of everything here tonight.
To handle that last inning.
Bill Melton coming back into the booth as the dance-off is going on, and here goes Ozzie, and fire your vote now 1-900 Cougar. No, seriously, folks, this youngster doing a good job here, hanging right with the veterans. And now Billy Bird pulling out all the stops, trying to see if he can. Ozzie has a little trouble with that move. Ozzie a little. This youngster is going to remember this for a long time, as he is rocking and rolling down on the field of Phil Alstrom Stadium. And now Billy Bird starting to. Now remember, this is a family show, and you can see the families here at Phil Alstrom enjoying every moment of this. There he goes, and look at those muscles. Oh, now they got him. They got him with some silly string, and this youngster, it's all, he's caught. And now Billy Bird's got his uniform, and he's trying to track him down. Look at the smile on his face. Boy, he's having a blast. 1-1 here at Phil Alstrom Stadium as we get ready to start the 7th. 1-5-1 for the Cougars, 1-4-2 so far for Quad City. So somebody was alert on that Quad City bench, and/or third baseman Tim Faulkner saw that Ralph Millar missed third, and oh boy, that is just a big mistake, something you cannot be making in this stages of the ball game. As Jim Castro out there, the dirt doctor, if you will. Jim, our head groundskeeper, as he throws the silly string up into the crowd for some of the fans to take home. So R.J. Bowers to lead things off here in the 7th inning. Bowers so far 0 for 2. First pitch from Will Kinane. Did he check it up in time? Yes, he did, they say. Red and blue are just the boys in the blue, I think, just want to get out of here without any more trouble.
Well, that was kind of a crazy inning. You're right, Dave.
Now the 1-0 pitch.
Well, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about when you're on a losing streak like the Bandits are and they're having trouble winning, that something always happens. And, you know, Kevin Millar hit a 2-2 pitch that was right in on his fist, and he hits the ball just over the first baseman's head, allowing 2 runs to score. And, of course, missing third base is a big play. You don't want to do that. But, you know, the Bandits, for some reason, are just coming up with all kinds of tough luck. On that play, they ruled it, I believe, an error 5. To me, it was an excellent throw by the third baseman. Bridges
just in a little hurry to get off of that bag.
Well, in a little bit of a hurry, but still, you know, he got away with it before. And if you get away with it once, like Millar did, or I'm sorry, Bridges got away with that before. What's going on out there today?
Here we go again now. They thought that foul ball was, or that ball was fouled off. He said it hit him in his foot. And we'll see it here on the replay if indeed it did. As here it is. Oh, I don't know. That you can see that it did hit some dirt right by his foot. Bird coming on to field it, and he throws him out. And now Gary Lucas, who is now the acting manager for the This will give you a full shot here, and that's.
Well, what you really have to do is you really have to look. All the umpire can do is look at the ball, Dave, and see for some shoe polish, black shoe polish. That's about the only recourse the umpire has. Again, that's just a judgment call.
Sometimes when the runner does not take off like Bowers did not, it's almost a given it's a foul ball, as there's a pitch low, ball one, but it goes down as a 5-3 put out, and the Bandits feel like they're taking on a couple of teams here tonight. The team in the old timers uniform and the team in blue. Is that pitch a little bit low, and the count 2-0.
Well, back to that play where I thought Bridges, I was over in the other booth, but it looked to me like he had an awful lot of that bag and didn't cheat on that one as much as he did on the first one. And like I said, if you get away with it once, you should be able to do it again. I mean, you know, it's hard for a player to know whether he can cheat on a play, and there's an awful lot of them. A lot of them happen at first base where the first baseman pulls off the bag too early. But I think, again, that's umpire's judgment. If you do it once, you got to give it to him again. So that's just a tough break for the Bandits.
Saw Kane with 67 pitches as this one lifted in the left field. McMillan to the track will haul it in as he tracks it down, and there's 2 gone. Billy read that one right off the bat, read it all the way, and
well, the key to that play right there is the fact that Billy McMillan did read it right off the bat. He goes back here, he makes a 360 turn, he looks over his right shoulder, he never takes his eye off the ball, and clunk right in that glove. Good play.
So 2 outs, and Noel Rodriguez will be the batter, as Will putting together another fine outing here for the Cougars. Rodriguez 0 for 1 with a double play, and he's also walked. Bounces this one to short. Southard over with it, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down here in the 7th. The Bandits going down 1-2-3, and as we enjoy the 7th inning stretch here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, it's the Cougars 1 and the Bandits 1, and Paul Paley will lead us through the singing of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." See some of the crowd, and there's a shot of Paul with the shades and everything.
Paul really likes his TV work, doesn't he? I mean, he's more animated right now today than I've ever seen him on radio.
And there's some of the crowd out there in right center field. A great crowd on hand here at Phil Alstrom Stadium.
One of the Blues brothers, right?
Some of the youngsters down the first baseline as well. This ballpark located in Geneva, Illinois, about 5 miles off of the east-west tollway, north of the east-west tollway on Farnsworth, and very, very easy to get to. And folks, we've said it 100 times, very affordable as well. Ticket prices range from $6 for the box seats to $3 for the lawn seats, and you can see the box seats right there. Just a beautiful ballpark for which to come in and watch baseball, and not a bad seat in the house. I mean, you go sit in the lawn seats, and as you've talked about, as we get ready for the Lou Malnati's dice roll for pizza, not a bad seat here. And you know, some folks even prefer the lawn, where you're able to bring a blanket out and sit back and relax and enjoy some baseball.
Yeah, I think that's as enjoyable as anything is stretching out on the grass. Of course, this great crowd here today, though, Dave, there's not a whole lot of elbow room, so I think everybody pretty much has to sit upright. But the grass is great when you come out here and it's not real crowded. You just lay down, stretch out. It's like a day at the beach. No beach here, but call it a day in the park. The day in the park.
Right. Day in the park is correct.
Well, I just wanted to mention that Ken Corrick really does a great job with the White Sox. And you know, yourself, you know, you've been doing the Kane County Cougar games for 4 years. You know, a lot of people think it's difficult, Dave, to become a major league ball player, that the odds are really long. But, you know, it's almost as difficult, if not more difficult, to become a play-by-play broadcaster at the major league level. And Ken does, because of John Rooney's commitments to CBS, Ken does our Sunday games, you know, and he has to fly in the day before. He gets to go to a game and probably updates himself and prepares himself really well. But, you know, this is his first chance to call some major league games. You and I both know there's not a whole lot of difference between the Kane County baseball and the Chicago White Sox. It's just it's the breaks.
Here's a pitch to Ron Brown, fouled it off, and the count now 1-1 to him. Brown 1 for 2 today with a single. He's also reached on an error, so he has reached base twice. And another look at that sharp looking turn back the clock uniform that the Cougars will be wearing on weekends the rest of the year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That's on the outside corner, and now the count will go to 1-2.
Well, I think the people should know also that these turn back the clock uniforms, I don't think they're really, I think they're wool, are they not?
I'm not sure.
I remember I saw one a couple of weeks ago, and it seems to me like they were wool. I don't think it's the double net. But if it is wool, they got a problem.
It's going to
Playing out here when it's 90 degrees is going to be a little rough.
It's going to be a little toasty.
Yeah, my first year with the White Sox in 1968, they had the black uniform, pinstripes, the old Sox uniform through the 50s and 60s, and it was wool.
Here's a swing and a shot in the left center field. On the run is Hidalgo, and Hidalgo will track it down, and there's one gone. Brown gave it a good ride, but Hidalgo was able to track it down.
Well, Hidalgo looks a little bit like White with Toronto, the way he goes out. He's that long, loping, long legs. Kind of makes everything look easy out there. Very graceful. Boy, he has got an arm, too. I saw a cannon in infield drill today.
He sure does, as Mike Redmond steps in. Redmond 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice and a sacrifice. Swing and a miss right there, strike 1.
Well, Hidalgo's really their offensive punch for the Bandits. Not a lot of home runs, but he hits a lot of extra base hits, and I think he's probably way up there in the league lead in doubles. I believe he's #1 in doubles, I think, with 27, and RBIs 50 or better, and that's a pretty good year in A-ball.
0-1 the count to Mike Redmond. Jamie Walker ready. Here's the pitch. That's a little bit low in the count, evening up at 1-1. Over 8,000 here at Phil Alstrom Stadium on what has been a beautiful day for baseball. And there are always tickets available as that pitch got a piece of him. Redmond tried to just turn out of the way and took one for the team right there. Just barely got him. May have hit those baggy pants of his, and he'll go down to first on the hit batsman. See another look right here. Didn't work too hard to get out of the way, and
wow,
one for the team.
That's a little close to call there.
He did have the regular double nits on. They're a little tighter. I don't think that would have got him. He's at first with 1 out. And here's Scott Southard, 1 for 2 tonight. Singled his first time, bounced to third in the 5th. Redmond starting to go. Here's the throw to second, and it bounces in, and Redmond's out.
Redmond's out easily.
He's out by about 10 feet. It'll be a caught stealing 2-6, and I think.
Well, we're going to have a replay here. I don't think we really need it. We probably could put it on fast forward, but this was a missed hit and run. Obviously, he wasn't running
coming
on his own.
He's
there.
coming.
He is.
Yeah, there he is. All right.
We needed a fast forward in that truck.
Yeah, Dave did finally hit the fast forward at the end there.
Good.
Get him there a little faster.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he looks a little quicker than he really is.
This pitch fouled off, back, and great catch by Probst. He went up against the screen and hauled it in, and yet another fine defensive play here today. Boy, oh boy, we have seen some dandies here at Phil Alstrom. We are through 7, and it's still the Cougars 1, Quad City 1. Welcome back to Phil Alstrom Stadium. I'm Dave Wills along with Bill Mountain as we go to the top of the 8th in this 1-1 ball game. And getting ready to lead things off will be Tony Rich. He came on for shortstop Jamie Saylor when Saylor was tossed out of the ball game in the 6th. So Rich ready to face the first pitch, and it's inside the ball. 1-0. Rich's numbers so far this year, an even 200 hitter. 3 hits in his first 15 ABs. He's not had a homer and knocked in 1. The pitch is high, and the count now quickly to 2-0. Big inning here for Will Kinane as there's some action now, I believe, down in the Cougar bullpen area. A couple of guys just playing catch right now. Maybe Ryan Philbeck loosening up. That pitch is in there for a strike, and the count 2-1. Oh, when you're only 20 years old, still has some stamina. And he has really been pitching great for the Cougars as this one fouled off, and now he's fought back to even up the count at 2-2.
That is Ryan Philbeck warming up down there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Will Kinane hasn't been in a whole lot of trouble with that. He's probably been behind more hitters than he would like, but he's managed to come back and get them.
That one sliced into the crowd as you get a shot of the Cougars bullpen area down the right field line. Ryan Philbeck, number 31. Marcus Mays, number 13. Down the line is 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Well, the proximity of the seats to this field here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, very close, and you really got to pay attention when you're not sitting behind the screen as that pitch bounces in, and the count now 3-2. Hopefully everybody all right down that third base line as that foul ball got there in a hurry. A full count now to Tony Rich.
This is a big pitch right here for Will.
And strike 3 called. He got him looking. Rich started to go down to first, but I think he knew it. There was not much wrong with this pitch.
Well, not only a good pitch, Dave, but he had a little something on it. The ball's really down and in. Just a tough pitch right there.
Mike Redmond hardly had to move the mitt.
Well, Will's got some of the hitters on. Generally, the left-handed hitters seem to be diving away, just to let you know out there that when you got a fastball that moves a little bit, that's what the hitters have a tendency to do.
1 out, and Eddie Ramos will be the batter. 0 for 2, a ground out and a foul out. His 2 previous at bats was that pitch missing low and away for ball 1. Tied at 1 here in the 8th. There's the pitch popped up right side. Millar going after it on the run, foul territory, and can't come up with it. And takes a header over toward the Cougar bullpen, but he seems to be all right and just couldn't track it down. And a long way to go and wasn't able to flag it down.
Well, Kevin Millar makes a good effort right here. This is really a tough play, Dave, for a first baseman. It's just almost do or die. You got the mounds coming into play there, but he did that. That's just a great effort.
No doubt, give him an A for effort right there, but as a former
Is
pitcher,
that E for effort, or?
I gave him an A.
Oh.
That one hit the cutoff man. Bounced it in about 55 feet. 2 balls and a strike now to count to Ramos.
You know, Will doesn't even look like he's laboring out there. I guess that must have something to do with his age. Well, he looks pretty collected, but you can see the bill of his hat right there. He's soaking wet.
2 balls and 1 strike. This one swung on and fouled off out of play to the right side. So the crowd today, by the way, a new Cougars record, 9,164, and you get a shot of some of the families and folks enjoying the ball game here tonight. 9,164. We knew coming in it was going to be a big one, and it's the biggest ever here at Phil Alstrom Stadium as that pitch low and away, and the count now goes full to 3-2. And really, I haven't had a chance to go out and walk around the concourse like I sometimes do during the radio broadcast, but it doesn't seem like people are crushed in here like sardines, as this one is crushed. It'll go to the wall. McMillan will go track it down, and stopping at second base with a 1-out double is Eddie Ramos. He did not make a mistake with this one. Ramos got all of it.
Well, it's a 3-2 pitch that's right down the middle. That's definitely a hitter's pitch, and Kane couldn't get away with that. Just a fastball right down the middle. Billy McMillan, not much he could do, just go back and retrieve it off that wall.
That's the 5th hit of the ball game given up by Will Kinane as Mike Redmond went out to talk to him, and boy, does this boy look dapper in this uniform. Brian Peterson, the Cougars pitching instructor, coming out now, and he's even pulled his socks up and everything. He's really looking like one of those guys that walked out of the cornfields and build it and they will come. So as Brian Peterson talks to Will Kinane, some of the upcoming events here at Phil Alstrom Stadium, July the 19th. You can see Bob Feller. He comes out and pitches up against you. Also, SportsChannel and Jones Space Link sponsoring Beach Ball Night. First 1,000 fans who come into the ballpark will pick up a beach ball. Compliments of the folks at SportsChannel. Jones Space Link and Jones Intercable. And fans both young and old enjoying this ball game here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. I don't want to say that he's all that old, but Not quite as young as the person he had in his lap. Good friend of mine. Pat Hammis, one of the local folks here, coming out to enjoy the ball game. So 1 out, 1 on, and Alan Probst will be the batter. Runner in scoring position. Probst 0 for 2 today. He flew out to center field, and he also struck out. Infield back all the way. Here's the pitch, a little bit low, ball 1.
Well, I think maybe what Peterson did was go out there and just, you know, calm him down, calm Will down just a little bit and let him know, you know, there is a base open. You know, there's 1 out. We want to maybe set up that double play, so let's not give Alan Probst a whole lot to hit. He's still throwing pretty well. I'm glad to see Lynn Jones keep him in there. I don't think he's ready to go just yet.
Good fastball right there for a strike, and the count 1-1. I know this ball game will be seen in Washington State. Going to send it out in Brian Peterson's parents' seat. So I want to say hi to Mr. and Mrs. Peterson, Brian's folks. We'll be watching the game in Washington. There's a swing and a miss by Alan Probst, and the count now 1-2.
Well, that was a pretty good fastball right there up around the letters. Not much Probst could do. As a matter of fact, he had a pretty bad swing at that one.
The 1-2 just a bit outside. Didn't miss by much, and the count will go to 2-2. Lane wanted to see if he can sneak one by him.
You can see the sweat right there on his bill. It's a little warmer. It's nice up here for us, Dave, but down in that field it's still pretty warm.
2-2 pitch line again over Millar into right field, a base hit. This will score a run. Ramos will come around. He touches third and the plate, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Bandits. An RBI single for Probst as Ramos comes in and scores.
Well, here's just a fastball. I don't think Will Kane wanted to throw. He had him 2-2, and he throws a fastball right down the middle. That's just almost like a mental mistake when you have that base open, and I don't think Will wanted it there. Probst just hit a line drive. You can't say any more. Here comes Lynn Jones.
Well, Lynn Jones, the Cougars manager, coming out of the Cougar dugout, and he is going to make a pitching change, as that is the second trip by a member of the Cougars coaching staff. So Lynn Jones going to the bullpen, and we're going to go to a timeout. Quad City leading the Cougars here in the 8th, 2-1. See Ryan Philbeck loosening up 2-0 with a 6.82 earned run average. This is being his 23rd ball game. He does have a save, 30 in the 3rd innings pitched, 35 hits, 11 walks and 20 strikeouts. So Philbeck coming on here in the 8th. The Cougars trailing it now by a score of 2-1, and just another fine outing by Will Kane. He just not getting much offensive support here from his mates. And
well, he had Will Kane threw a good ball game. 7 1/3, 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and uncharacteristically 2 walks. But a bad pitch right there. He made a bad pitch to Probst, and I think he knows it. But it was a good effort by him.
Another fine pitching performance by Will Kane, and the Cougars starters have really been doing this day in and day out. They have been getting deep into the ball game. The bullpen has not had to really come out, and you know that's good and bad for the bullpen now, because they're probably not as sharp as they would like to be. And Ryan Philbeck coming out in a situation right here with 1 out, 1 in, and 1 on. He's got to shut the door. You cannot afford to fall behind any further when you've only got 2 more ABs, 2 more cracks to get back into it.
Well, you know, the first half, Dave, the Cougars had a tough time. They left towards the end there, at the end of the first half, they were leaving a lot of men on. And right now they just don't have their offense. Other than 2 nights ago, they really don't have their offense going in the second half. So it's a good thing the pitching is. The pitching's been really good this second half. And, you know, the name of the game to win is you got to have good pitching and good defense, and you got to win the tight games.
1 ball and no strikes to count to Bridges, who's 1 for 3 today. Lifts this one into short center. Brown on the run. He'll get it. He started to drop it. Now they say he did drop it. So they will go on to second, get the force there. And really, we were talking about good defense. Ron Brown's had a couple of rough plays out there in center this evening. Ball might have been bouncing on him a little bit, and that's why they'll tell outfielders to run on your toes. If you start the heel toe.
Well, he broke back on this one, Dave. His first move was back, and that's something you can't do as an outfielder. And right there, You know, he just had the glove down too low and closed his glove a little bit too quick. I think right there, when you get a late break, you got to turn that glove underneath into a basket catch.
Go down as a fielder's choice. Here's a swing and a foul off of the foot of Hidalgo, and it's 0-1 as the lights are being turned on here at Phil Alstrom Stadium. And Hidalgo, those dogs are barking right now a little bit. Get a shot of the lights here, just starting to
be turned on and try and
generate full power here. This ballpark lit to AAA quality, and
this is the toughest time of the evening right now in the twilight to hit. The lights aren't going to be too effective right now, and probably won't be for a couple of innings. But you know, getting back to Brown, the outfielders, what people have to understand, you know, when you've got a big crowd like this, 9,000 plus, and everybody's in white shirts, as an infielder or an outfielder, you really have to keep your eye on the ball, because a lot of the times it's coming out of shirts, and it really makes it difficult. So concentration really has to be, even in this twilight, exceptionally pinpoint, I guess would be the word. You really have to concentrate and read the ball off the bat.
Here's a swing and a bouncer foul down the third baseline. In the count now, quickly 0-2 to Richard Hidalgo, who so far today 1 for 3. Singled back in the 4th inning. He's also bounced out and popped out. 2-1 in favor of the Bandits, thanks to the RBI single by Alan Probst that scored Eddie Ramos earlier in this 8th inning. Here's a swing and a high fly ball. Left field. McMillan going back to the wall, and he'll haul it in. And had to use every single inch of Phil Alstrom Stadium, but McMillan able to bring it in. The Bandits come up with a run as Hidalgo almost gave them a 3-run cushion.
He gets all of this ball right here, but like we said, Dave, the wind has a lot of effect out here in Kane County, and that allowed McMillan just to float back on that warning track.
Cougars running out of chances here as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. You see the score. River Bandits leading the Kane County Cougars by a score of 2-1. And a new pitcher as well for the River Bandits. Manuel Barrios 0-3 with a 5.19 earned run average in 27 ball games, this being his 28th. Right-hander, 4 saves, 43 1/3, 43 hits, 16 walks, 41 strikeouts. First pitch is to Glenn Reeves, and it's on the outside corner, strike 1. Reeves so far today 0 for 3. And there's a pitch fouled off in the count, 0-2. Billy Bird doing a little bat work here. Is got the Batman cape on and everything, the Cape Crusader, and handling the lumber pretty good there. Until he got a little more than he can handle. And here they come. Look out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reeves, Berg, and Millar for the Cougars here in the 8th against Barrios. There's a swing and a little nub foul on the count 1-2. Well, I know the delectable delights here at Phil Alstrom Stadium have been getting a workout. To my right, Bill Melton has pork chop sauce all over his nose and on his cheek, and to our left, our floor director Mark inhaling another Sunday. What is that, his 3rd today?
That's his 3rd. Where's he getting Sundays?
And
I didn't know they offered those.
In the truck they're munching away as well.
Well, the crew from Trial Video that comes out here certainly gets treated right and fed right.
Nice poster there. SportsChannel and Cougar fan. Little pre-publicity, and they came out with a nice poster. As you see the numbers on Reeves today.
Well, let's not forget Jamie Walker with the Bandits. He had a pretty good day himself. Dave, 7 innings pitched, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, and only 1 walk.
Actually, 1 run. That 1 run was taken away. That's right. You missed. That run was taken away on the appeal play. 3-2 to count the Reeves. Left-hander tied him up. There's no doubt about it. Now it's up to Barrios to try and sew up the victory. 2-1 in favor of the Bandits as Glenn Reeves has been battling here to start the 8th. 3-2 the count to him. We've talked about it before, about the fact that of the 9,164 fans here, that pitch missed, ball 4. Good job by Reeves to lead off this 8th inning with a walk. Of the 9,000 fans here, maybe about 10% really are affected as to whether or not the Cougars win. But 90 other percent are here to have a great time. And I see fans throughout the entire year at different functions, and I ask them, have you ever been to a Cougars game? Yes, I have. Well, who'd they play? I don't remember. Well, did they win? I don't remember. But did you have a good time? Oh, we had a blast. So winning and losing is not necessarily the case, as there's a sacrifice by Berg. Barrios bobbled it, but did get the throw over in time. And going on to second is Glenn Reeves on the bunt. See Barrios having a little trouble with it at first.
Well, Dave Berg lays down a good bunt. He pushes towards first base, makes the pitcher make the play, and Barrios almost muffled that a little bit. Sometimes pitchers have a tendency to try to do things too fast, not knowing the speed of the runner, and he was able to recoup that time.
This is definitely one of those situations as far as the fans are concerned. It's not whether the Cougars win or lose, it's how much fun you had while you were here.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I run into a lot of Cougar fans out of Sox Park, and that's all they talk about is the fun they had. And I guess, you know, that's really the name of the game out here is, you know, the baseball game is enjoyable and maybe incidental, but, you know, this is an atmosphere for kids and for people to come out and have fun and, you know, good food, good atmosphere, good friends. And, you know, a lot of the people out here probably know each other. I know we do have some regulars, but I think people come from a long way, and they do bring their families. Today would be a situation on the 4th of July to have a lot of family.
A lot of people on the lawn area down the left field line. A good spot for the post-game fireworks here at Philostrom Stadium. Is another one in the dirt, and a good job again by Alan Probst. He's been working very good behind the dish here today. Dave, our cameraman, just gave the thumbs up to the triple header Sunday out there. I mean, you got a little chocolate right here, Dave. There you go. That's
well, actually, we're all supposed to be working, but we're having a lot of fun. I guess, Dave, you're the only one not having any fun.
I know.
I fired down a couple of pork chop sandwiches, got a double-decker chicken going.
Here's a swing and a fly ball into left field. Rennick drifting over. Has a lot of room, will make the catch, and staying at second base is Reeves, and there's 2 gone. Well, I'm going to try and make up for it after the ball game. So 2 outs, runner at second base, and Billy McMillan stepping up 0 for 3. And we do want to say thank you, especially to our fine staff here, Joanne McGrail, who's been serving the truck, and the folks here in the press box with all the delectable delights. And we want to pass along thanks to her and Melissa Penzinski. I mean, you know, they really they cater to our almost every whim when we're doing the ball game here today. And now a conversation out of the mound, and I don't know, that could be all for Barrios, who's getting some handshakes. And let's see what they are going to do right here. Yes, indeed, they are going to go to the bullpen. A left-hander had been loosening up. They got a left-hander coming up in Billy McMillan. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a timeout. The Cougars have the tying run at second, but still trail it 2-1. New pitcher for the Quad City River Bandits is left-hander Marty Lister. Lister 2-2 with a 3.22 earned run average, his 25th ball game. And he has 6 saves, 22 in the 3rd innings pitched. He's given up 12 hits. He's walked 24, so he is prone to be a little wild. Came on and wrapped up the ball game for the Bandits on Saturday night and earned his 2nd save of the series.
Well, I don't know if this move is that effective, because I think Billy McMillan, again, we talked about a lot, handles left-handers pretty well. I know this is a percentage move, but, you know, I'd like to have Billy up there in this situation.
Takes the first pitch for a fastball, strike 1.
And the line on Barrios, 2/3 of an inning, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, no strikeouts.
The book still somewhat open on Barrios. If, in fact, the runner at second, Glenn Reeves, scores, it would be charged to Barrios. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch swung on, and a great diving grab by the second baseman, Terry Bridges. Yet another fine defensive play here today. Folks, we have seen several of them this evening here at Phil-Alstrom Stadium. Boy, oh boy, another fine grab. McMillan didn't really get it all, but Bridges in the right place at the right time, and he dives headlong to go and grab it, and then shows umpire Jason Gibbon that he had it. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left. We go to the ninth. Still 2-1 Bandits. A shot at the crowd here at Phil-Alstrom Stadium. Over 9,000, a new Cougar record. Quad City leading the Cougars 2-1 in the top of the ninth. And the new pitcher for the Kane County Cougars is right-hander Bart Rich. 16 games, he's 1-2 with a 2.41 earned run average, and he has got a nasty over-the-top breaking ball. So Rich becomes the third pitcher used by Cougars manager Lynn Jones. And getting ready to lead things off will be Tim Forkner. First pitch on the outside corner, strike one. Forkner today has tripled and scored a run. He's also struck out and was involved in that wacky fielder, or actually that single that they ended up throwing the runner Bridges out at third base on. Now the 0-1, that right there. The count quickly 0-2.
Well, Dave, I think Rich has probably as good a stuff as anybody on the staff. I mean, he's got a real good over-the-top curveball. He has good change of speeds off his fastball, and of course his fastball is moved. So I think he's probably got as fine a stuff as any one of the pitchers.
The 0-2 bounces in, and now the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes. Bart Rich, along with Kevin Millar, discovered, as you see Mike Redmond, discovered in the Northern League. It's an independent league up based in like Minnesota and some teams in Iowa. And he was discovered up there by the Florida Marlins scouts, Dan Zielinski, who was probably watching the game. And congratulations to Stan and his wife, as there's that breaking ball caught the outside corner. Faulkner caught looking, and there's one gone. But congratulations to Stan and his wife on the birth of their child Zachary, double Z, Zachary Zielinski.
There's that curveball. There's that curveball straight over the top, and you can see that thing breaks about 4 or 5 feet. Faulkner had, well, it just froze him. I think he just mesmerized him. He didn't buckle his knees or anything, but I don't think he had, there's no way he could have pulled the trigger on that.
So one out, and R.J. Bowers the batter. Swings at one that bounces in, strike one. Bowers 0 for 3 today.
Well, he kind of anticipated that being a fastball, and that shows you what Bart Rich is able to do. He has good arm action on his changeup, and it's deceptive because it looks like his fastball. And a lot of these hitters are, between that and that big breaking ball, it's pretty tough to hit him.
The 0-1, and he sprung at another one that bounced in, as he's really having a lot of trouble with that local.
Yeah, I would have to move up in the plate, in all probability, probably about 7 feet.
To the grass, maybe.
I think if he gets up to the grass, he'd have a chance on this, you know. If he could just keep, yeah, he doesn't know what's going on. If he could keep that right foot in the front of the box and stride out towards the pitcher, he might have a chance here.
The 0-2, look out. And high and tight. And
well, a little Uncle Charlie right here would have him wiggling.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Now again, here's the kick and the pitch on its way. Here's the breaking ball. A little too tight on that breaking ball. I think if he goes with another looping one, he's going to get him. 2, 6, and 2, the numbers for the Bandits. 1, 5, and 1 for the Cougars. Now here's the pitch. That one bounced in as well, and the count 2 and 2. Count full, actually at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch on its way. Swung on and popped up. Foul territory, backing out of play. You can see in the stands, gentlemen going up the stairs, as you saw from the center field camera. That was Will Kinane. He was down to check out his chart, now coming back over toward the Cougars press box area. Had to be fairly happy with what he saw. But a look at Bart Rich. Might have to find a bigger cap.
I was going to say, it looks like he has a beanie on. The only thing he's missing is that little propeller.
3-2 is hit into the air. Into left center field. Billy McMillan and Ron Brown converging, and Ron Brown makes the call and has the catch, and there's 2 gone. Our next Chicago White Sox game here on Sports Channel will be a doubleheader. Tuesday live at 4:30 when the White Sox host the Detroit Tigers at Comiskey Park. Don't get too many doubleheaders in the big leagues anymore.
You know, people would talk to me a lot about doubleheaders when I was playing in the 70s. Well, I looked at a old program. I don't have a whole lot of things, but some fan had given me a 1971 White Sox program, Dave. There are only about 4 pages in it. It was on sale for 35 cents. But anyway, I had counted our schedule. They had a schedule there in the 71 season. I counted the doubleheaders. We had 21 scheduled doubleheaders.
Wow.
And I've talked to the new players a lot, you know, and of course the Players Association is limited doubleheaders, but I remember a couple of years where I played 25 and 28 doubleheaders. And you're talking all of that in July and August, and you know, it just simply wears you out.
Well, I believe tomorrow the Cubs and Rockies are playing a doubleheader at Wrigley Field. You don't? They had one scheduled. Maybe it's not the Cubs and Rockies, but they had one scheduled in Colorado, the only scheduled doubleheader of the year, and that was a couple of weeks ago as Rennick swings and misses, and that will retire the side. Do or die for the Cougars here as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Bart Rich has kept it close. Now it's time for the Cougars, who trail it by 1. Need 1 to tie, 2 to win it. It's 2-1 Quad City. Over 9,000 here at Phil Stadium, and right now the River Bandits lead the Cougars 2-1. Some of the folks getting ready for the Medieval Times tournament that's going to be after the ball game. They got their crowns ready to go as you see Marty Lister trying to finish it off here. 2-1 in favor of the Bandits as they're trying to salvage a split of this 4-game series. The Cougars took the first 2 Thursday and Friday, and now the Bandits won yesterday 2-1, trying to do the same here tonight. 1-0 the count to Brendan Kingman leading it off. Now the pitch, that's on the outside corner, and the count will even up at 1-1. Kingman 1 for 3 today with a single in the second. Averaging .245 now. 1-1 is fouled off and out of play, and the count will go to 1-2.
Dave, what does Lister's delivery remind you of? There's a left-hander in the big leagues now that winds up, or a right-hander that lifts his leg high like that, way up to his chest.
Kind of like Mark Langston, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit like Mark Langston. You're right. Right there, just like that.
Pitch, breaking ball, lifted down the right field line. Bauer's on the run. He'll dive and won't get it. It is a foul ball, but couldn't track it down. Another good effort, but Bauer's comes up empty. See if Brendan Kingman can get aboard. I think we might see a pinch runner for him. He does not run all that well. We've got Willie Brown in the dugout. Willie with some very good speed, leading the Cougars in stolen bases with 10. And the key is to get this leadoff hitter aboard when you're trailing by a run in the ninth. Opens up a plethora of opportunities for you to get that tying running.
Well, Lister looks a little selfish out there. I don't think, you know, he had to hit her down 1-2, and now it's 2-2. But he looks like he has a pretty good command of his fastball in the strike zone. So they're going to have to earn their way on. I don't think he's going to walk anybody.
2-2, and that's low, and it's ball 3, 3-2.
And the reason I said that is because that's probably what he'll do.
Well, you want the Cougars to win, so you're
absolutely
trying to jinx them.
Well, the hitter's got to be patient right here. It's going to be a pitch he has to be patient on.
That pitch is high, ball 4. He walked him. So Kingman aboard. He represents the tying run in the last 4 innings. 3 times the Cougars have had their leadoff hitter aboard on a base on ball, and they have scored 1.
You know, I don't know what it is with pitchers, but Mark Lister could have gone the 7th and 8th inning and not given up a walk. And inevitably, every time they get to the 9th inning, mentally, they just don't zone in. They're fearful trying to make too good of pitches, and they always end up walking somebody in the 9th, which is the most crucial thing you can do.
Now, see right here, you've got Kevin Millar, one of your better hitters on the ball club, and I don't know if you want to take the bat out of his hands right now. It's a situation.
Well, I don't think so. At home, you want to go for the win. So, you know, Dave, you don't want to sit here and go for a tie. And like you said, you know, Kevin Millar is one of your better hitters and an extra base hitter. And, you know, you put a man on second and third, that puts the winning run on second base. So I don't. I don't see him sacrificing Kevin Millar in this situation.
Kingman not a threat to run. They may start him on a hit and run, though. Here's the pitch, is swinging a chopper foul, and now Millar in the hole 0-2.
You know, a lot of the theories are is you really want to tie the game at home. You always get the last 3 outs. I don't know, every manager plays it different, you know. You really have to know your personnel. You have to know who's at the plate. They'll never write a book about baseball.
There isn't just one way to play it,
no.
That's for sure.
Well, you really have to know your personnel. I mean, you know, is a guy like Kevin Millar good on a hit and run? You know, is he a gap hitter? Is he an extra base hitter when you need him, or a contact hitter? Just a lot of things come into play. What about the speed of Kingman?
Here's a throw over, and Kingman back in safely.
Well, I think we're saving Willie for a pinch hitter instead of wasting him as a pinch runner. I know even though Willie might have to come up against a left-hander, you know, if the Bandits have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen like they do.
Here's the 0-2 to Millar. He laid off it. It missed low in the count now. We'll go to 1-2. Well, this is where Lynn Jones likes to run. He likes to run on 1-2 because he feels that the pitcher is going to come with some sort of a breaking ball, especially in a strikeout situation. He may try and get him to go after a bad pitch. So we may see Kingman go here, though he does not have very good speed. And Lister will go over to first. 2-1 in favor of the River Bandits. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Nobody out. The tying run at first base. Lister looking in. Now checks the runner. And here's the pitch. Kingman stays at first. That pitch is high. The count now 2-2. And Jones at third base, pondering the situation, as is this man. Marty Lister, who made things interesting yesterday in the 9th inning, trying to do the same again here. Now the 2-2. High ball 3. Boy, oh boy. Now this is where you earn your money as a manager. Does Lynn Jones take the chance at the old strike him out, throw him out? I think he's got to have confidence in Millar to get the bat on the ball. And I think he's got to start Kingman here to stay out of a potential double play. Kingman does not go, and it's high ball 4. The first 2 men have walked here in the 9th. Now not only is the tying run aboard, but now the winning run goes to first base in the shape of Kevin Millar and Ron Brown coming on, and Gary Lucas coming out of the dugout, and he is signaling to the bullpen. So yet another pitching change. The Cougars with the tying and winning runs aboard here in the 9th. Don't go anywhere. It's 2-1 Quad City. Mike Walter, the new pitcher for the Quad City River Bandits, this being his 20th game, 2-2 with a .380 earned run average. Trying to save it, and he has 2 of them. 23 2/3, 22 hits, 16 walks. He struck out 27. 3-2 has a tendency to be a little wild, but has better than 1 strikeout per inning ratio.
Well, Gary Lucas filling in for ejected Steve Diller just figured that Lister had 22 innings, 24 walks in 22 innings. That, you know, you walk 2 men in the bottom of the 9th inning, I think you've got to yank him quick.
Here's a situation where Walter whirled around as if to throw to second, but the wheel play was on him. The Cougars didn't bite. 2-1 in favor of the Quad City River Bandits here. Cougars with the tying run at second, winning run at first. Corners are up, expecting the bunt. Now here's the pitch. Brown was showing bunt, pulled back, and takes a strike right down the middle.
Well, what the Bandits have done defensively, Dave, is the shortstop Tony Rich is breaking to third base. Third baseman Faulkner and, of course, Ramos are breaking in to get the bunt. So what we have to do here is it's better off to lay that bunt down to first base. It's a right-handed fielding first baseman, and it would be harder to make that play at third. It looks like they're trying to cut off the tying run.
0-1 to count to Brown. Runners lead. Here's the pitch. And not a good attempt at that bunt. And the count now 0-2.
Well, Ron Brad had the right idea. I think he was trying to bunt it down to Ramos, and that'll make it a tougher play at third base. They're really the Bandits here are really trying to cut off the tying run.
Ron Brown and Lynn Jones talking things over. Tony Schnurr from Torco Auto Group stopping by as see that last bunt attempt, and you can see Brown, and I really don't like, first of all, he's kind of reaching for it, and he's not moving his entire body.
Well, everybody it's no secret. Everybody in the ballpark knows he's laying down a bunt, so what he has to do on the windup is immediately square around. He's got to move his body in towards the bunt.
Now the pitch. He chops it to third. Faulkner dives to get it. Throws to second for the force, and that's going to be all they're going to get. So runners at the corners now. They force Millar at second, 5-4. On the fielder's choice. Ron Brown at first. Brendan Kingman the tying run at third on the fielder's choice. And now Mike Redmond stepping to the plate. Redmond 0 for 1 today. He's bounced into a fielder's choice, has a sacrifice, and he has walked. And Willie Brown's been down in the bullpen swinging a bat trying to get loose just in case he is called upon. And Scott Southard is in the on-deck circle, and I have a feeling if Redmond reaches, we may see the pinch hitter there, because we do have a man who can come on and play at shortstop, and Gavin.
Well, the Bandits defensively aren't playing for the double play. They're playing in and shallow, so they're going to try to cut off that tying run at home.
Here's a pitch down in the dirt, and again, Alan Probst.
It's kind of an odd play. I mean, you know, what you really want to do, the intent is the pitcher to get him to hit into a double play.
He has done a tremendous job behind home plate today. Alan Probst has been blocking everything that comes his way.
Well, Mike Redmond right here just has to get a pitch he can drive. He just has to put the ball into play and get that tying run in so we can go.
Now the 1-0. Low and away. Ball 2, 2-0. Infield is in all the way around.
You know, and that I really don't understand, because if you got the infield in, Dave, and that ball's just a little right or left, a 250 hitter becomes a 350 hitter, and then all of a sudden the Cougars got the winning run on second base. If a ball goes through, I take that back. The winning run would be on third base with 1 out or less. So I'm not real convinced that this playing the infield in to cut off the tying run is a good play.
Runners have, or the middle infielders have moved back just a bit. As here's the pitch. Redmond checked up his swing. Did he go around? No, he didn't. See Jason Gibbons signaling the safe side, and the count now 3-0. And things are beginning to get a little interesting here again at Phil Alstrom Stadium.
Walters really dug himself into a hole right here. Redmond's got a 3-0 count. That means he's got 2 pitches to pick the pitch he wants to hit, just to drive the ball to make good contact. Never mind maybe getting an extra base hit between the outfielders.
The 3-0, and Redmond takes ball 4. The bases are loaded. Moving over to second is Ron Brown, and going down to first is Mike Redmond. And here comes Scott Southard.
Well, now the Cougars have the winning run at second base.
Last year, on this very same weekend, Cougars came from behind. They were trailing, I believe it may have been this same Quad City team. Todd Pridey led off the 9th on the first pitch with a home run to straightaway center field. Then in the 10th, Freddie Gamble led it off with a triple, and then Tony Silvestri, a lot like this man up at the plate right now. Scott Southard knocked him in with a single. The bases loaded. The first pitch to Southard is a strike, 0-1.
Well, if this is the way, you know, we don't follow the Quad City Ball Club that much, but with a record of 2-9, if you're in a lot of games and your relievers are doing this to you in the 8th and 9th inning, the latter innings, it's a wonder why you have 9 losses.
There have been 3 walks in the inning and a fielder's choice. Bases loaded, 1 out. Middle infielders have moved back a little bit, as here's a fake throw over to third. Kingman very close to the bag still over there.
Well, I think what the Bandits are really telling us is that the double play combination are not really that good, or not really sure of themselves. The third baseman's in, the shortstop's in, second baseman's in. They're making that hitter a better hitter.
Ooh, Southard took a swing at a pitch that was maybe a ball as Walter pulled a string on it, and the count now 0-2. Victor Valdez now loosening up in the bullpen for the Quad City River Bandits. Bases loaded, 1 out.
Well, a base hit's going to be tough to score around Brown from second base because the Bandits outfield is playing really shallow. We know the arm of Hidalgo, and I think all of them have pretty good arms. It's going to be real tough to score on a base hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That last pitch to Southern didn't miss by much.
Well, Ron Brown really has to get a bigger lead at second base.
The 1-2 way outside, 2-2. We'll take another walk. It's 2-1 in favor of the Bandits. Brendan Kingman led off this ninth with a walk. He's at third. Ron Brown reached on a fielder's choice, went to second on the walk to Mike Redmond, who's at first. Now Kingman leads at third. Brown walks off at second. And Redmond at first. Here's the 2-2 to Southern. Ball 3, 3-2.
Well, the hole is getting a little bit deeper.
And that strike zone for Mike Walter getting a little smaller, and every muscle in his body beginning to get a little tighter as well. There it is. That sums it up right there. The bases loaded. The 3-2 1-out pitch. Swung on, chopper towards short. Coming in and forced at the plate is Brendan Kingman. And there is 2 gone. Boy, oh boy. Kingman thrown out at the plate, and Rich had to come in and get it and then get off a fine throw. But
well, they got away with playing shallow right there, because if Rich is back in his normal position, he doesn't have a play at all. So, you know, maybe the Astros in their minor league system or major league system, you know, like to play the infield in. But that right there, because they were in, is why they made that play at home plate.
I'll tell you, this situation's going to haunt the Cougars for a while. If they cannot get a run in when you've had 3 base on balls in the 9th inning, it's hard to scatter 3 walks in an inning and not score a run.
Well,
2 outs. Pitch to Glenn Reeves, a strike, 0-1.
Well, that pitch right there to Southern, Dave, was a ball. But it's really hard to be up there as a hitter. 3-2 pitch, bases loaded. You get a little over anxious, even at the major league level. So he actually swung at a bad pitch.
The 0-1. This fouled off the end of the bat, and now Reeves in the hole 0-2. Really kind of surprised we didn't see Willie Brown in either one of these situations right now. You've got a potent left-handed bat in the dugout. We've talked about it before. Lynn Jones looking more at the big picture, that this is the minor leagues, this is development.
Yeah, hey,
more so than wins and losses.
And I like that part of it too. You know, like you said, the fans are out here to have fun. They don't know if they win or lose. I think the most important thing is the development of young players.
There's a pitch missed inside, and the count now 1-2. And some of the folks on the River Bandit dugout started to go up those steps in celebration, but didn't get the call from Mike pitching. Glenn Reeves, well, he was the hero on Thursday night. Came up with a big 2-run single. Trying to do the same thing right here. The 1-2. Fisted foul. Look out. Going over by our third base camera and into the Bandit dugout. So 1-2. The count remains to Glenn Reeves. Good guy to have in this situation, Glenn. Kind of one of those guys that seems to be nonplussed about everything. You know, just kind of going about one of those laid-back Aussies, if you will. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. And that is the ball game. Reeves strikes out. The Cougars leave the bases loaded here in the ninth. The opportunity knocked several times for the Cougars here this afternoon, but they did not answer the door. The final score, Quad City 2, the Cougars 1. We're back to wrap it up right after this.